The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning.
It is savings on a stick season with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning's State Fair specials. Deals on deals on deals that can save you thousands. Visit standardheating.com for all their State Fair deals. Standard Heating, providing the comfort you deserve since 1930.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. 93X.
Ladies and gentlemen, in just a few moments, we start our daily broadcast.
It is National Relaxation Day, a day for you to take a break from your hectic life and relax.
Just relax and be yourself.
All right, I'm sitting in my chair, I'm relaxing, I'm getting blackout drunk, and you're leaving me alone.
Give me a cheer if you grew up with brothers and sisters. We played this amazing game when we were small. It's called Relax. I would see Carrie at any point around the house, and if I felt like it, I would just be like, hey, Carrie, relax. And she'd be like, I'm already relaxed. And I'd be like, whoa, relax. Relax. And she'd be like, Catherine, I'm already, I'd be like, relax. Don't hurt nobody. Relax. She'd be like, Catherine, I am already relaxed. At which point my dad, who's very big and mean and Irish, and didn't let us shout in the house. He'd come stomping up the stairs like, who's shouting in the house? And she'd be like, well, Catherine told me to relax. And he'd be like, look at you. You should relax. And she'd be punished. It's a great game.
That's what happens on a Thursday.
It's showtime.
Music has been taken out of this portion of the Half-Ass Morning Show podcast for licensing reasons.
Yeah, you don't do it when you want to suck it to it. Frankie Goes to Hollywood. They said that back in, I'm going to go ahead and say 1984, 1985. Relax, don't do it. It's Relaxation Day. Is that how you say it, Josh? Relaxation?
Yeah, is that what it is today, Wapple?
Yeah, Relaxation Day. Relax!
I'm having trouble relaxing.
Have you been?
Well, I always do, but this is really, really stupid. A buddy of mine, I love the Your Mom jokes. My mom has been a target of the brother and sisterhood for 25 years. A lot of Your Mom jokes made about my mother, and I find them very funny. And I made a Your Mom joke to a good buddy of mine the other day. Okay, I'm almost 50. And he's like, dude, I'm going to tell my mom you said that. And I was mortified. I'm like, please don't.
Oh,
Dude,
no.
do not tell her.
Yeah, don't tell her I said that. Come on, man. That little tiny threat, it still sticks with me. And like my stomach, I have butterflies that someday he's going to tell his mom.
I know you.
That
and
I said that.
I know you don't want that reputation.
No, not at all. I mean, because I'm like, well, I said, it's in the delivery. She'd be able to tell I'm kidding around. And he's like, no, I'm going to text her. And he threatened to text her, and it drove me nuts.
But also knowing you, why would he make that threat? He knows that's going to torture you.
Oh, I think that's exactly why he made that
Can you
threat.
write down Your Mama joke that you made about this fellow's mama?
I'm trying to remember, because I just sent him one today, and he threatened again to tell us.
Because I'm a fan. I'm a fan of that type of humor.
Yeah.
I don't know, Josh. Try not to let it keep you up at night. He probably won't sell you out like that. I wouldn't sell you out like that.
I don't think he'll go through with it. Because I've never officially met his mom.
You've never officially?
No, we just send nudes over the internet. God dang it, he's going to tell her that now.
You and his mother trade nudes.
Yeah, we trade nudes all the
you
time.
haven't met.
We've never met in person.
All right, here we go. Like a cow pissing on a flat rock. That's how I like to say it. Raining like a cow, just a pissing on a flat rock this morning. Hopefully you're able to get through it. We welcome everyone to the program, the 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. Oh, so it's a relaxation day.
What do you guys like to do to relax? I have a couple of cervezas, I'd imagine. That's a big one. Maybe binge watch some TV.
I listen
Take
to
a bath.
Frankie Goes to Hollywood. I listen to their old records.
It's a catchy tune, isn't it? You take a bath, do you, Ashley?
Yeah, I love taking baths.
Bathing.
Especially if you got a fancy bath bomb so the water can be a cool color. Have some sparkles in it.
For a while, that was the gift my wife loved to give her friends, bath bombs. Are those still popular?
Not as popular as they were.
I dish out truth bombs.
I know you do.
Jeez.
You are not afraid to go there if you
Never
have
have been.
For the longest time, when I heard the term bath bomb, I thought that was like an Urban Dictionary slang term for farting in the bathtub.
I could understand why you think that.
I didn't. I'm like, what? They're just openly talking about busting ass in the bathtub? My goodness. But then I realized it's just a form of bubbles.
Yeah. It's
What
just
do I,
do you know what a bath bomb is, Nick?
I believe so. It's been a while since we discussed such things. I think it's some kind of like a bar of soap or something that you drop into the water.
It's like an Alka-Seltzer, right? It's like a big ball, a colored ball that you put in there.
What happens when you put it in the water?
I've never actually seen it done, but my wife explained it's like Dana said, it becomes a bubble bath or something.
Yeah, it changes the color of the bath, and then some of them have chemicals in it or whatever it is that's in them.
I love chemicals.
Yeah, me too.
Make the water softer, I guess, so that when you get out, it feels like you have lotion all over and stuff.
Well, that
nice
sounds
smooth.
just wonderful.
Yeah.
Just absolutely. Can I just put one on the floor of my shower?
That would be a shower steamer. Probably do that.
Those actually clear out your nose.
Oh, yeah? They actually make those?
Yeah, I used to get them all the time. They're like little menthol tablets, kind of like Alka-Seltzer. You put it in the bottom of the shower, and it makes the whole shower smell like menthol. It just drains
so when you're
your
sick,
nose.
Oh, nice.
You place it on the floor of your shower?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I've never heard of that either, Josh.
I'm glad. That's news to me.
It gets all the boogers out.
I'm glad you brought this up. I was going to text you, Nick, and I can't believe I forgot. The other day, I thought of you in the shower, which is not uncommon.
Yeah.
And I said, you know what I'm going to do for my buddy Nick? I'm going to pee in the shower. And I hope my wife's not listening because she hates this kind of thing.
You really did that for me?
And it was difficult. It took a while. I had to go. And I thought, I'm just going to pee right in the shower so I can say I've done it.
It's the easiest thing in the world. You went through with it.
Well, I think because I was a newbie, it was tough. I was trying, and I couldn't get it to go. And then finally it went. And I thought, well, how convenient is this?
Once you get the hang of it, it's just kind of automatic.
Oh, yeah.
I aimed
you
for
don't
the
even
drain.
think about it.
Mm-hmm. That is so special. And
I can't believe I didn't text you. I meant to, and I forgot.
I bet that's hot stuff for Nick.
Well, I don't think he's turned on. I think he's just happy that I'm following in his footsteps.
I thought he would be.
My best friend urinating in the shower?
Yeah, you've been telling him to do it for so long, and now he's finally doing it.
Right. But you almost made it sound like I should find it sexually pleasing.
Yeah, you really did.
Maybe you should.
I'm confused by that. Josh, I'm very proud of you. Maybe this is the beginning of a new stage for you,
I'd like to try it again.
The beginning of something new for you. Yes, you should try it again.
Simply to see if it gets easier.
It's natural. It's the way it was meant to be. There's a friggin' drain right at your feet. So how do you not aim for that every time you get in the shower? I don't know.
Okay, yeah, I did. Usually I'll just go before or I hold it. But for whatever reason, I thought I'm just going to let it go.
And we've had that argument back and forth for decades. I just don't understand why you would ever hold off when the opportunity presents itself.
Is this a midlife crisis?
Oh, hell no.
Is this the definition where you start urinating places that maybe might be not exactly where it was designed to accept urine?
The way I see it, it's just a natural thing.
If this keeps escalating and we find out you're doing it other places, then maybe. But I think right now with the shower, you're just fine, Josh.
What do you mean? Like, what are other places?
Well, if you said urinating in a place you're not supposed to, what if he starts doing it on the driveway at 3:00 in the afternoon or other odd places that aren't quite as acceptable as the shower?
I don't know what the hell he's talking about. You've done great work, Josh.
I remember.
I'm the one who's appreciative.
Yeah, and like I said, I'm ashamed of myself for not. I meant to text you immediately, but my mom, when we were kids, we're little boys running around the neighborhood, we'd pee out by. So I grew up in Minneapolis, so we didn't have an attached garage, right? And we would just pee out kind of like behind the garage when we were young, and it infuriated my mom. Like she would, the bathroom is where you do that.
Yeah, my mom didn't like my brother and I taking a squeege out in the yard either, but we still got away with it 8 times out of 10. Oh, man. Well, that's really cool. I'm glad you told me that. Here's a headline I read just yesterday, Cubby. And the headline said, I regret to inform you. I don't know why they started the headline so ominously, but that's the route they took. I regret to inform you that it's back to school season. So I wanted to ask you, Josh, have you started torturing your son, more importantly, my godson, yet on how close he is to beginning another school year?
Yeah, I have. I used to, with the big kids, I mentioned before, when we got the Sunday paper, I'd look forward to the Target ad about back to school. It'd show up like in June.
Yep.
Every year it seems like, just like Halloween, you can Halloween shop now. Every year they would, start selling this stuff sooner, and I would paste it all over the house. make sure that they saw that and
Right.
bring it up. Oh,
hilarious bit.
We better get. We're running out of time. We got to go get some clothes. We got to get your supplies. We got to get. You better get your back to school haircut. But I brought it up with my youngest, and he doesn't. He's not excited to go back, but he doesn't really care. And I think it's because he's going into 7th grade, and he's no longer a 6th grader, right?
Yeah.
The the youngest at the school, they got a lot of crap. So now he's excited to no longer be the youngest at his school.
Okay. Have you informed him yet about how a college education doesn't matter?
You know what?
Have you let him in on that secret yet?
Not so many words. I just told him that, when we were younger, they told you if you don't go to college, you're worthless, right? I mean, that was like the thing. You're never going to amount to anything.
There was that cloud, that black cloud kind of hanging over all of our heads back in the day that led you to believe that if you weren't ready to go to college once high school was over, if you were just going to take a job, boy, you were up against it. That was how they presented it to us.
And it's different now probably because it's, 10 times as expensive. It's so different, and now it's more, it just doesn't seem like it's as, I'm speaking as someone who's been in the same building for 30 years, but from talking to friends and stuff, it doesn't seem like it's as important to have that college degree in certain jobs, right? But I've tried to encourage him to go to like a trade school.
Oh, yeah.
Something like that. Because I'll be honest, he's not college material. I don't think he's going to be getting into a very good school. If you're reading between the lines, he's kind of dumb. He doesn't get stuff. Maybe pro wrestling school, he might do all right, something like that.
And I'm not anti-college.
Yeah, I'm not either. I just don't think it's as important as it used to be.
I hope that they never go away, colleges, because I love to watch their basketball teams. But a college education doesn't do dick for most folks. So you've talked to him about going and getting into a trade. That's great.
I'm hoping that's what he does.
Tell him to get a job, a steady job. I'm not trying to give you parenting advice. I'm just telling you this is what I would dump on a kid if I had one. Get a job as soon as you start driving. Hang on to that until high school is over. Maybe stay beyond high school if you love it, but after high school, learn a skill or go into the military. That's what I would do if I could do it all over again. Learn a skill or enlist.
That was not the skill part. I knew I didn't have that going for me, but the military was something I really, really wanted to do.
An electrician, plumber. Who are the other people that I'm constantly calling to help me out with things?
HVAC is a big one.
Oh, yeah. Still going to have to do schooling, just not as much.
I was telling Nick I was...
but you could just start as an apprentice and learn on the job.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what my buddy's kind of doing for plumbing. How he's going to get his plumbing license.
Yeah. I thought you still had to go, especially if you're going to be in a union. I thought you still had to do schooling.
His company will train him on the job, and then they'll also send him to school, and they'll pay for his schooling for all that. That's what he's doing.
I was telling Nick this. You mentioned HVAC. My HVAC guy, he shamed me the other day. He told me I got to hit the gym.
Oh, no.
He's like, you got to hit the gym, man. Just the other day.
Yeah, but he's a gym dork.
Oh, he is. Yeah, he's pretty cut.
That's his answer to everything, I'm sure.
Yeah.
He told me he's like one of these gym dorks. So, of course, he's trying to...
Those aren't the words I used. I just said he's a gym enthusiast. He loves going to the gym.
You called him a gym bitch.
I did not call him a gym bitch.
He told you need to hit the gym.
Yeah,
you look fine. You look great.
Pretty funny.
Tell this guy to shut it.
Yeah, he should be telling me to hit the gym, not you.
Well, it was more because I had contacted him like, I can't keep getting sick. I don't know what's going on. I'm like, is there anything I could put in my house that would help, right? And he's like...
a gym?
Yeah. He's like, no, not really. He's like, you just got to hit the gym, man. Boost that immune system. Maybe put some weight on.
Oh, stop it. Good
weight
Lord.
on.
I thought that was great.
I hated when my grandparents would tell me, you need to eat more, put more weight on. I am eating. It's not working.
My mom's the same way, no matter the issue. Like, I can't get my car to start. Well, that's because you're not eating enough.
What?
Yeah.
I was an awfully skinny kid, too. And I would have people tell me to eat. And often I would point at my folks and say, tell them, for Christ's sake. I'm 11. Tell them to feed me. An uncle had a line many years ago. I was like a 13, 14-year-old kid. Somebody had died, and we were all staying in a hotel as a family. So then we could, up and go see him buried, whatever, the next day. And I've told you before that if the weather permitted, I rarely put a shirt on any time between my 8th and 28th birthday. We were a shirtless crowd, my brother and our buddies. We just didn't put on shirts. We were kind of hillbilly like that. So we're staying in this hotel, and I was in the hotel room with my whole family, uncles and all that scene, aunts. And I said, well, I'm gonna walk down the hall, go to the vending machine, get a pop. Anybody want anything? And my uncle had some kind of line where he said, and I was shirtless at the time, of course. My uncle said something like, don't be surprised if someone pulls you into their room and makes you eat a cheeseburger. That's just how bony and scrawny and just feeble and pathetic looking I was as a 12, 13-year-old. Just thin as by God, Cubby, a rail. Hey, we got 2 cracks at Metallica tickets for you this morning.
That's great.
Just a heads up.
You guys getting hit up from friends or people you haven't talked to in a while?
Of course.
No.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
No, my friend group, my crowd is finally too old for concerts. Only one individual has called me about Metallica because the rest of us are just too old. We've done it, and we don't bother. We haven't bothered trying it again.
It's nice in a way that you connect with people you haven't talked to in a while, but then you feel bad saying, hey, I don't have all the connections. I can't just hand out Metallica tickets. Back in the day, it might have been a little different. It just doesn't work that way right now.
I think I got hit up more 2 years ago when it was announced than now.
Oh, right away?
Yeah. That's usually, when we announce it, that's when a lot of people, hey, so how does someone get tickets to something like that?
For my friends, it's more last second. And the guy yesterday in particular, I'm like, you're the richest person I know. I mean, you could go ahead and buy your own ticket. He's in some computer something. He's got hot cars, all this kind of stuff. Like, you can afford tickets to Metallica. But that's how the rich stay rich, right?
Yep.
They don't pay for anything.
I'm not trying to start trouble with Metallica, knowing that they're likely already in town. But the only time my phone rings anymore from my friend group when it comes to concert tickets is when Megadeth or Iron Maiden come to town.
Oh, yeah.
Other than that, my phone doesn't ring for that anymore. Again, because we've aged out. We've just aged out. We got 2 cracks for you this morning. A heads up, though. These tickets are in the U.S. Bank family section, so there's no alcohol allowed in your...
I don't think that is a thing. I don't think that's a thing. I've been watching a lot of backstage. Maybe backstage isn't the right word, but I don't know how to describe it. Other concert footage, I guess I'll call it, from Metallica and some of the other bands on this tour. The concert footage from Metallica, they barely show any of the concert, but it's like fans who have really good tickets kind of showing the members of Metallica what they do before they jump on the stage. Like you see James smoking a lot of cigars or sitting there and kind of warming up, or Kirk warming up. It's kind of cool to see. So I've been watching that. I watched a whole show of Mammoth at Hellfest. I've watched Pantera. It's cool seeing some of this stuff. And I like it because I can just lay in bed and watch it versus be in the family section at U.S. Bank Stadium.
I dig it. Yeah, some of that stuff is pretty interesting.
It's cool seeing these, legends warm up and kind of how they psych themselves up. Def Leppard's releasing a lot of that stuff, too. I wish that wasn't on a Monday. I think it's Monday night.
Phil Collin of Def Leppard is backstage doing crunches and covering himself with baby oil.
Yeah, he's even in the kind of the behind-the-scenes stuff, he's not wearing a shirt.
Of course not.
God, she just doesn't put on a shirt.
I could see why.
Again, I can relate to that, but then he's 63 years old,
right.
So I was shirtless in my youth. Different bands have different approaches, of course. I've seen old and at this point you could call it ancient footage of Kiss warming up before a show back in their heyday and in the 80s and even here towards the end where it just got ridiculous. But, sometimes you'd see Paul Stanley sipping a certain kind of tea because it helps his singing voice or warming up. You ever heard a lead singer warm up their vocal cords before a show, it's awful.
Yeah, actually,
It'll make you never want to see that individual live, but it's the way they're able to stretch their vocal. It's an odd thing, but it sounds like hell, but it works for them.
Funny you say that. So Def Leppard, their release, this Def Leppard stuff's really interesting. Like I said, it makes me want to see the show more now, and I've seen them tons and tons of times, but Joe Elliott, the singer of Def Leppard, was in a bathroom, so with all the reverb kind of warming up, and he didn't sound so good.
No.
There was another moment where he's behind stage. It's in the middle of a show, and he's talking to the person filming, right? Because he does a lot of the narrating, what's going on, and he's very funny. And all of a sudden, he's like, oh, crap, he realized he missed his cue. And so he had to run on stage because he was so invested in this camera guy that he forgot he had to go on stage. Vivian Campbell, one of their guitar players, legendary guitar player, Dio, everything. He's awesome. He talks about how he screwed up during the show, and it's like you see these guys, you worship them as kids, and you just don't think they mess up on stage. And so, like, the band member said, you got to practice. And then you see, like, Phil Collin, you mentioned him, not knowing where a bridge or chorus is for a song they've been playing for over 40 years and getting crap about that.
Hey, they're not kids anymore. You start to forget things. But, I've found it interesting over the years to see one band. I mean, they won't allow a cigarette anywhere near their dressing room because the idea is that cigarette smoke dries out your nasal passage, all this intricate technical stuff. Hell, they're sipping green tea and
it's different
and holy water, God knows what. There's bands who have that approach, and then you see footage of AC/DC where Brian Johnson is still just raking down cigarettes and drinking whiskey, and the man is 76 years old now.
That's Joe Elliott. He's does a shot of whiskey in all the videos before the kind of behind-the-scenes stuff.
Just a little liquid courage, a little bump to get him going.
Yeah, I think Dave Grohl does 2 shots of whiskey and then 3 beers before every show.
And then he really pounds cigarettes on stage, too.
Yep.
I've never seen them live. I didn't know he smoked. He does on stage,
They're
too.
very good.
Yeah, when they're doing, like, drum solos and stuff, he'll step off to the side and just be chain-smoking heaters.
Yep.
2 shots at Metallica tickets before we get the hell out of here at 9 o'clock. So there you go. What's it say here? Okay, these are Sunday tickets.
Cool.
That we will be throwing your way before Cubby says, Vamonos, and we leave at 9 a.m.
So that is Five Finger Death Punch and Ice Nine Kills?
Yep. Ice Nine Kills is very, very good. I love them.
Word.
All their songs have to do with, like, horror movies.
Oh, yeah?
All of their songs have to do with horror movies.
Yep. Like Meet and Greet. That one's about...
Is it M-E-A-T?
Oh, yep. And then that one's about Buffalo Bob. Or, no, not Buffalo Bob. The dude that eats everyone. Silence of the Lambs.
Hannibal
Lecter?
There we go.
Lecter.
Yep. Yeah, and they wear serial killer face masks and stuff on stage. They bring a chainsaw out.
Oh, it'd be fun to check them out from the family section.
Yeah.
All of their songs.
Yes.
So, don't they worry about running out of material at one point or another?
They haven't yet.
Well, thank God there's so many, like, Conjuring movies.
Yes.
They could just go with sequels.
This one's about Conjuring Part 6.
This is about Friday the 13th. Jason Takes Manhattan.
Paranormal Activity 14.
Really?
Here
So
we go.
that's their gimmick all the way through. From the beginning to today, they write all of their songs about horror movies.
Yeah, and the first album was Silver Screen Part 1, then they had Silver Screen Part 2.
Huh,
So,
I did not know that.
yeah, the lead singer's a massive horror fan.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be something if there was a guy in the band who hates horror movies?
I hate being scared, guys.
That would be funny.
Yeah, he's just,
He
well, I
catches
got a
glimpse
gig.
of himself in
Yeah.
the mask. You said they're masks?
Yep.
And it scares the hell out of him?
Yeah, he's wearing like a Michael Myers mask.
He's in therapy.
There's one guy in the band who likes rom-coms.
Yeah.
Right? He wants to write romantic comedy songs,
Yeah.
but he's stuck in a horror movie band. Hey, it pays the bills.
Guys, how
can't
bad
wait
would
to
it
get
be if
out.
we just did one song about You've Got Mail?
Right.
Notebook,
We call the album You've Got Mail.
and we could spell mail M-A-L-E if
Yeah.
you want.
What masks do they? And see, now I'm intrigued.
I gotta
I've
look them
I've
up.
never known anything about this. What masks do they wear? You tell me. So they wear a Jeffrey Dahmer mask and a Charles Manson.
He wore like a Jason mask. They wore a Michael Myers mask.
Oh, okay. From okay, I got lost there.
Yeah.
So from horror movies, not necessarily serial killers.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. There you go. I did not know that.
Yeah, they're a lot of fun. A lot of energy on stage.
They're going to play Halloween parties until the day that they die.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
There's never going to be a Halloween where their phone doesn't ring. And eventually they're going to crack.
Yeah, and then they're going to have to do like fan VIP meet and greets where they go through a haunted house with them or something like that.
They're going to get sick of this. They are.
Yeah.
One day they're going to snap.
Why? Why did we do this?
But that's really interesting. How did Johnny Carson used to say it, Josh? Give us your Johnny Carson.
I did not know that.
That's good.
That is good.
See? He's good.
You're right. Someday, it's kind of like back in the day when you were Nick Danger and I was Tijuana Josh. Mm-hmm. We just stopped doing it.
Yes,
we can't do it anymore.
We did. We did.
We hated it from the beginning.
And quicker than you'd imagine, we got tired of it.
We're like, I don't care that the bosses put this on us. We just can't do it.
I mean, again, I'll bring up Kiss again. I mean, you know how friggin' tired those guys got of that gimmick? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Oh, God, I've seen so many interviews with Ace Frehley where he was like, Jesus Christ, I just couldn't put that friggin' makeup on again.
Think about that, right? That a mask is one thing. You can put on a mask on your way onto the stage, but they got to get there and have somebody sit there and do their makeup.
Oh, God.
So someone just texted in and said the singer sometimes wears Freddy Krueger hands, so he'd wear the knives and stuff on his fingers.
That is very scary.
That
it
is
certainly
scary.
is. The band is called Ice Nine by Damn Kills.
You know what's unfortunate? It's going to be daylight when they're performing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't even think about
That's
that.
got to ruin the aesthetic a little bit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All that, the windows and the light coming in.
It's going to be just.
I mean,
their light shows pointless.
Yeah.
They're going to look kind of silly out there.
They're going to have to just have pyro the whole time, no lights.
I mean, if you know Twisted Sister, I mean, they wore makeup, not so much like Kiss, but they did wear makeup, and it wasn't as big of a part of their image as Kiss. But if you know Twisted Sister, you know what I'm saying. I saw them play a daytime show years and years and years ago where it was about 100 degrees out, and everything washed off their faces.
Oh, no.
I mean, it wasn't they didn't care, but it just was kind of funny. Why did you boys even bother putting it on? Because it just ran down to their bellies within about, that's how it operates sometimes. All right, we got to get going again. You're a great crowd. Again, be tuned in if you want to go see that Metallica Sunday show, because we got a couple of chances. We'll take a break. We'll be back in a few minutes on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
Did you know that Standard Heating opened its doors over 90 years ago? That's right. Tony Ferreira opened the doors in 1930, now ran by his granddaughter Claire Ferreira. Call Standard Heating and Air Conditioning today and experience the customer service and care that holds true today.
It is savings on a stick season with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning's State Fair specials. Deals on deals on deals that can save you thousands. Visit standardheating.com for all their State Fair deals. Standard Heating, providing the comfort you deserve since 1930.
Former Navy SEAL Sean Ryan shares real stories from real people from all walks of life on The Sean Ryan Show.
Tucker Carlson, what is it that you think that people gravitate
I'm not
towards?
self-aware. I refuse to be self-aware. I don't even look at mirrors at all, which you can probably tell from my appearance. I don't have a crazy high IQ, or I really don't have that many skills. I would say my main skill is I believe my instincts. I don't hesitate to follow my instincts, ever. To the extent that I have, I've gotten in trouble.
The Sean Ryan Show on YouTube or wherever you listen.
Stupid news on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
Here we go with today's Stupid News Report. And I'll tell you right now, I will. You're going to hear some things in today's Stupid News setup. You're going to hear some things that you might not be prepared for. But I'm going to go ahead anyway. I am, the way I always do. You're going to hear some things that you were not prepared for. First off, for starters, all right, what do we got? 4 or 5 people here? 5 of us? Have any of us had that moment where you went ahead and you shot your father?
No. I never even considered it.
No.
Okay. All right.
Never even shot a gun, let alone at my father.
You haven't?
No.
Really?
I bet you've dodged a couple of bullets in your day from enemies.
Mm-hmm, for sure, in more ways than one.
A 48-year-old Iowegian fella. Yeah, what's it say here now? He goes by the name of David Carpenter. He got himself arrested for attempted murder after he shot his dad. He shot his dad in the face.
Whew.
Yes, he did.
It's tough to come back from.
Mm-hmm. Thankfully, the old man's expected to make it at the hospital.
Guess not that tough.
Yeah, it's not that bad after all.
It sounded really bad, but now I've learned that that's not necessarily as bad as I thought.
He's going to be okay. It's not something you can't. You can apologize for that. You and your dad can move on from that. Yeah, you shot him in the face. He doesn't have any lips anymore, but the man's alive. He's alive. At the hospital, the old man, he told the cops why this happened. He told them he and his son, again, David, he and his son were arguing about his son's stinky feet.
2 out of 3 of our kids have very, very stinky feet. It's my wife's DNA. It's got to be. Because one of them I did not sire. It's my stepkid. But the other one I did sire. But I don't have stinky feet. And so now there's 2 out of 3. She's responsible for 2 of those. Must be her DNA, right?
Absolutely. That's tough. That can be really, really bad.
It's kind of comedy in the household, but yeah, there's times where all of a sudden she's the best at figuring out we'll be driving somewhere, and my wife will be like, all right, put your shoes back. She can tell immediately when one of them took their shoes off.
Oh, yeah. Man. In some cases, it's just brutally obvious and awful. I'm sorry to hear that, Josh. You have to live with that?
Oh, yeah, it's nothing compared. I was prepared. I mentioned this before. One of my best friends growing up, we shared a dorm together. We went to college together, and his feet were so bad.
A little bit?
No, we never really did.
No experiment?
I offered. There was one particular time I remember we were drunk. I offered. I begged.
Yeah.
Never went through with it.
This guy had foul feet?
Oh, so if you heard of the Dutch Rudder. Anyways, so we, his feet were so bad, he got a talking to from the RA. Like, we're getting complaints. And I told you this. I can't remember the condition. He had it repaired, whatever. He went to the mechanic and they fixed it. But he had these yellow holes like a sponge in the bottom of his feet. His feet were rotten.
About that.
Is that like gangrene?
No. But I had an uncle, or my grandpa had that, and he had to have his finger cut off. But no, it was some sort of
I've seen it.
Fungus or something.
Yeah.
I've never smelled anything like it.
I've seen that before.
Terrible.
I told you about my high school friend who could peel exact sheets of skin off the bottom of his feet to where it was the exact shape of the bottom. Anyway, his feet were rotten. See, I had stinky feet when I was a kid. And you know what it all comes back to? It's those silly tennis shoes that all of you wear. It's those damn tennis shoes.
I don't know. I don't have stinky feet.
Yeah, I don't either. I got heydays.
Well, just it's not widespread across. I'm not saying every single I'm saying there are certain people who are, the word I'm looking for, predetermined to have foul feet, and it only enhances it when they put on those stupid tennis shoes. It's not across the board, but I'm telling you, it just holds in all of the sweat and that. Because I had smelly feet. I am predetermined to have stinky feet. I am. And when I wore tennis shoes as a kid, it was just brutal. When I stopped wearing tennis shoes, it went away.
I think it was Nick. Which one of you guys had the friend who never took his shoes or socks off?
That was me.
And he would jump in the pool and run around all day?
Yes, that was the kid who could peel the exact replicas of foot skin off of the bottoms of his feet. His family had a pool. I don't know why, but he would always get in and out of the pool with his shoes and socks on, and then would remain in those same shoes and socks for the remainder of the day until they dried.
That's frustrating.
It was horrible, horrible.
He must have had pruny feet.
Well,
yeah.
Yeah, was he just embarrassed by like the look of them, or did he think
Probably his feet got so bad from his shoe and sock swimming that then he kept them on just because he didn't want anyone to see how bad they were. At any rate.
People are saying it's the socks. the type of socks you wear make a difference.
Yeah,
Socks.
that's when I've noticed the most difference is when I switch socks, because I've always also had like very rank smelling feet. But I notice a difference, like even if I wear black socks or white socks. So black socks are usually like, it's going to happen.
It's socks and those stupid tennis shoes.
I've only worn black socks. It doesn't show how dirty they get, by the way.
Yeah, that's why I like them. But if I wear them, it's a gamble of whether or not my feet are going to smell or not.
I never, maybe something to dye? Weird. I've never heard of something.
Dude.
So Crocs probably help, right? Or no?
I've only worn my Crocs 2 or 3 times.
Have you?
I always wear these flip-flops until the snow hits the ground because it certainly benefits me and everyone around me if I air my feet out as much as possible.
Yeah, apparently you can't wear Crocs with socks.
Yeah, that's a fashion no-no, I've heard.
They say the same thing about socks and sandals. You don't have to listen to people like that, Walter.
You can do what you want, man.
I can't wear Crocs.
On the other part of the story about the shooting the father, Kiss Sucks Jesus said he worked in an ambulance for 20 years and responded to a call for a gunshot wound to the back once because the dad took his kid squirrel hunting, never used a gun before, accidentally shot his dad in the back. The bullet just missed his heart. He almost killed his dad.
Jesus balls.
I've almost gotten my dad with a fishing lure.
My sister got me with one. That was very ouch.
I know a guy whose dad shot him, and he made it, obviously.
On purpose or accident?
See, it's the same as the story about my dad.
There's varying degrees of the truth.
Okay, this younger fella that I know, his dad accidentally shot him. That's the story. I'm not so convinced, right? And then you can go all the way back to when my dad was a 7-year-old kid, his brother shot him. The story is that it was an accident. I'm not so sure. They didn't investigate things like that in 1951. You know what I mean? Oh, it was in 1951, no one ever thought that one brother would shoot another. So they just swept it. Oh, it was an accident. Okay, let's save the kid. We'll worry about it later. Well, nobody worried about it later. I'm not so convinced it was an accident. All right, we got to get around to this, for Christ's sake. Dude shot his dad. The cops talked to the dad in the hospital. And Dad says they had an argument about his son's stinky feet before the shooting. And the son agreed. He said he was in the living room with his dad. The old man's in a motorized scooter. I guess I don't know why that's added into the story. I guess maybe it makes it even more cold-blooded that he'd shoot his dad since his dad was sitting down in one of those motorized scooters.
Can't get away.
His father accused him of having smelly tuna feet.
Oh, no.
We worked with Tuna Foot.
We used to work with Tuna Foot. Wait a minute. Is there a new Tuna Foot?
No, I said worked.
You said worked.
Yeah.
Okay. When Dad told his son, look, your feet smell like tuna, that ignited a huge argument. At some point, David, the son, went into another room, got a gun, came back, pointed it at his dad's face. Now, David told the cops he accidentally pulled the trigger. Accidentally. See, I don't buy any of this. I think he meant to. He's also been charged with child endangerment because there were 2 children younger than 14 in the house at the time. Sounds like a good, stable environment for children, doesn't it, Josh?
Oh, yeah, nothing to see here.
But, like Josh said, I agree with Josh. They can still have a relationship. You can come back from that.
Absolutely you can. You're still family, no matter how many times they put a bullet in your face.
I still love you. And then they embrace.
I've always thought, though, that it's different between a mother's love and a father's love.
You're right.
A mom, she'll help you bury a body. Mom's going to love you no matter what. But Dad, I mean, there's things you can do where Dad's not going to love you anymore.
You've always been right about that.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, I know for a fact with my dad, and I know there's probably some things my kids could do where it's like, all right, change your last name.
Yep. We're good here.
Yeah, we are no longer related.
All right, if you think you would do anything to get a day off from work, you got to hear what this sumbitch did out there in Queens, stupid New York. A dude who works for the Metro Transit Authority. It says here he's a cleaner for the Metro Transit Authority. That's what he does. He cleans this and he cleans that. He went ahead and cut himself up. He slashed his own hands with a blade, and then he made up a story of how he was attacked down there in the New York subway. He made that story up so he could take the summer off.
That's a very believable story, right? I would just assume I'll be attacked.
These are defensive wounds.
Yeah.
I was being at my hands because a guy was attacked.
You're in the New York subway, sure. Can you imagine the things you see cleaning up public transit, especially in New York?
Oh, New York especially.
Oh, you should get some hazard pay.
Yep.
It is grody down there, especially in the summer.
Oh, you've seen it? I've never been to New York.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope to keep it that way, actually, if possible.
I can only imagine what some of you are thinking about this man cutting himself up to take the summer off, making up a story of how he was attacked. I can only imagine what some of you are thinking. Now, does it make any difference to you when I tell you that the guy said he, quote, did it for love? Love!
It's a sweet gesture.
And I'll tell you all about that
The
in just
love of not going into work.
Oh! He goes by the name of Herring. I don't have a first name, and it doesn't matter. Herring. A dude claimed at first that an unhinged stranger went bananas on him and cut him to ribbons. But that was all nonsense. He was just trying to get some time off. Dude said, I know what I did looks terrible. Whatever, he said. Whatever. I have very good reason for what I did. Herring went on to say that his girlfriend has had 2 brain surgeries recently, and it's been a real nightmare. So he'd go visit her at the neighborhood hospital every day after he got off work. But he wanted to spend more time with his lady. If he was all cut up and traumatized, he could take the summer off and be there for his woman. That's the story he's sticking with. I wanted to be there for someone that I care about. I had a real good reason for what I did. I'm not crazy, he says. He was charged with this and that. He told the cops he was charged with falsely reporting an incident, all that stuff. Surveillance cameras caught him cutting himself up, so his story went to hell real quick. But then there's this. He apparently told the cops, my goal was to have the summer off because it was too hot down there in the subway. But he denies ever saying that. Back to why he pulled off this effing drama. He said, end of the day, we get 1 sick day a month. I had used mine up. I had no choice. But then he also later admitted that he still had 5 unused sick days at the time he faked the attack. So this guy's credibility is garbage at this point.
Yeah, not the most reliable narrator there. It's going to be tough to believe anything he says.
And he's still cooking. Then he made his most brilliant statement. He said, you know what? If I could do it all over again, I wouldn't change a thing.
Oh, really? Not one thing? Nothing at all.
He said, but this time I'd be smarter and avoid getting caught by surveillance cameras. Now, he said to be there for her, his woman, he would do it all over again. He's still pushing the sick girlfriend scenario. When the local papers asked about his girlfriend, he refused to give her name or provide any pictures of the two of them together. So this has just gradually gone from bad to worse.
Yeah, he's full of it.
Yeah.
Bank Examining Jesus said he's currently in New York. He said there's some nice subway trains, but then there's trains that look like some orgy just happened in a dumpster.
Oh, yeah. Gross.
Mm-hmm.
Very gross.
All right. In closing, does it make any difference to you to learn that this Herring dude has an F the police tattoo on his arm, and he has served 2 stints in state prison on robbery and gun charges?
Yeah.
Dude. He says, maybe this is his most brilliant statement. Maybe I spoke too soon when I thought I'd do it all over again, when I claimed that was his most brilliant statement. Maybe this is it, actually. He said, I'm not unemployable. After this, I don't know.
I just hope him and his girlfriend stay together. I'd like to believe in love.
You know who doesn't believe in love? Jeff Tate of Queensryche.
Tell him, Cubby.
He'll sing a beautiful song about it. And also, you know what? The band, they'll play a wonderful intro to that.
Tell him all about it, Cubby. Now we got to go this way. A doctor in terrible, awful England, he beat himself into oblivion in an attempt to frame a patient for assault.
What the hell are you doing? I'm kicking my ass!
Just beat himself loose. And his scam didn't work any better than the numbskull with the phony subway attack. The doctor happily goes by the gorgeous name of Gurkerit Callcat.
Beautiful.
Word is, he beat himself about the chest and head and threw himself against a door while shouting, "Stop hitting me!" to try and frame the patient. He tuned himself up pretty good. This disaster went to court and all that. It says here, Gurkerat, or whatever the hell his name is, he was looking to remove this particular patient from his patient list because the guy was a drug addict. And Gurkerat had tried other gimmicks to get this patient off his list. Says here, he told the effing guy he was dying of cancer.
My goodness.
Hey, Doc, I'm looking to come and see you again. Maybe does next Thursday at 3 work for you? I need to come in and say, can't make it next Thursday at 3. Oh, why's that? Because I'm dying of cancer.
Might as well find another doctor.
Yeah.
He even offered the dude money to go away. This drug addict dude must be a serious pain in the ass.
Mm-hmm.
Gurkerat, or whatever, has been suspended for 1 year by the local Medical Practitioners Association, or whatever, his boss is. He's been suspended for a year. Now, Dr. Gurkerat pulled off this fake attack while the drug addict patient was in the room with him. I don't know how you pictured it, but I pictured that the doctor just whooped himself good alone and then would just point the finger at the drug addict afterwards.
Yeah.
No, he cut loose with this bit while the dude was sitting in a room with him.
That's even better, isn't it? I just picture him picking himself up by his own collar and throwing himself into the door frame.
So it was the doctor, his assistant, and the drug addict in a room together. And then here's the way the patient/drug addict told the story. He said, Dr. Callrat stood up and walked towards the door, and then he threw himself against the door and put a fist into his own chest and said, "Stop hitting me. Ow! This is violence. You're attacking me."
This is violence. Next time I get my ass beat, I'm going to tell the person, in case they didn't realize it. This is violence.
The patient said I was sitting in the chair and I started to laugh because I honestly thought he was joking at first.
Wouldn't you guys laugh if you saw something like that?
100%. I'd be
terrified at the same time, like he's having some sort of breakdown.
Yeah, I don't know if I could laugh. I think I would just be wildly confused.
I thought I was the one that was on drugs. What's he doing?
Yeah, well, you might think, I got to switch drugs.
Yeah.
I'm really hallucinating here.
So the patient said, I started to laugh. I thought it was a bit. Then the doctor turned to his assistant and said, "You just saw him hit me, didn't you?" And the assistant said, "Yes, I did." So she was in on this as well. The patient ended up saying, "What are you doing? Is this a joke?" The doctor said, "No." Dr. Callrat called the cops. They cuffed the patient, but in the end, the truth all spilled out in court. This is one of the more pathetic things I've heard in a while.
Yeah. The assistant is in on it. Come on.
Yeah.
Like, you liar. I think I was going crazy.
Like Nick said, he must have been a real pain in the butt, this patient.
Yeah, I'd like to know what he did.
If they're both in on it.
Or I don't know. I mean, Jesus criminy. You're a grown man. You're throwing yourself around your office, punching yourself in the face.
Yeah.
I mean, there had to have been a better way to get this patient off your patient list. Had to have been a better way than that. But these are grown folks. It's truly fascinating.
Hot Cocoa Jesus, that's actually how you save yourself when somebody's beating you up. You beat them to the punch. They'll think you're crazy and walk away. That's just smart.
Oh. Oh, my goodness. It makes you wonder, is there any honesty left in our world? Listen to this sick, twisted ass nonsense right here. This story is truly one of a kind. A beauty clinic is how they say it here. A beauty clinic in a place called Wuhan. Where is that now?
China.
Wuhan, China. This aggravates me now. Beauty clinic. There's got to be a better term for it. Plastic surgery clinic, I think, is okay. Let's go with that. Plastic surgery clinic. They've been accused of tricking a mentally challenged 19-year-old man into getting a boob job by claiming he could then make money on social media. For the love of Christ, you did what now?
That's terrible.
Let me try to explain this to you.
You kind of wonder sometimes how people just can sit with themselves. How can you go home, go to bed, go on with your life knowing you're that type of person? I suppose if you're that type of person, you just don't care. By the way, I think I could pull off implants. I think I have the body type for it. I think I have the facial structure.
Oh, yeah, I think you'd look good.
I have the features.
Let's get you a consultation.
19-year-old boy, mentally challenged. His mother claims that he has the mind of a 5-year-old. He reportedly applied for a job at this plastic surgery clinic. But the folks at the joint, they told the kid, you should first undergo a breast enlargement surgery and then begin working after you recover. So they were just looking to sucker the kid into giving them money for a completely and obviously unnecessary surgery. That is effing evil as all hell. The kid's mother found text conversations between her son and the clinic staff where they apparently told him that boob jobs are okay for men and that such procedures are very popular among live streamers, and he could make big money.
Did Steve-O from Jackass ever go through with it and get implants? Didn't he say he was going to? Or
Yeah, I think he at one point said it, but I don't think I remember him actually doing it.
Yeah, I don't either.
Well,
I feel
get
like
back
that
to
would've
me
been
on
in the
that.
news.
Yeah, that'd be a
Wapple
big deal.
feels like that would be in the news.
Yeah.
Dana, please get back to me on that because it's killing me.
I know. I figured
whether
you
or
want
not,
to know the answer.
Well, it's killing me what the guys from Jackass did or did not do. This friggin' kid, who did not know any better, agreed to get the fake boobs and pay for it.
that poor kid.
He took out lanes isn't the route I should take.
Oh, he's going bowling.
He took out 2 loans to pay for the bolt-ons. His mom says they turned him into a B cup. This is a horror movie. Mom gets a look at him. Can you imagine this? She goes haywire. The clinic agreed to remove the implants, and it says here that only traumatized the kid even further. Mom wants to make this clinic pay for what they've done, literally and figuratively. She's going after him. She's telling everybody in town what they did. I mean, man, I'm going to effing puke. That's how bad. I feel like throwing up.
Yeah, I hope they can throw some special charges at these people.
How sick and twisted are you to try to make a quick couple of grand off a kid in that situation with such a bizarre plan?
I don't think I'm trying to think of the dumbest radio stunts maybe that we've been involved in or something like that of all time. And, some maybe we're too far, or we're definitely too far. I can't imagine, because when we used to do those, what would you do for, whatever ticket it was, like corn, some people, that was all their idea, right? So people would do some pretty extreme things. But I think if someone said, hey, I'm going to get implants, we might say, well, because I know we did this with other people. Like, are you sure you want to do this? Because back then it's like you could get a ticket to whatever concert for $20-some.
Yeah. Right.
And it wasn't 5 times the fees on top of it. We would try and talk some people out of it. Like, it doesn't seem like that might be permanent, or you could get sick.
If it was anything permanent, I know that we were never in favor of it and always, numerous times said, are you sure you don't have to go through with this if you don't want to? I'll never forget the day that I was working a bar gig and a listener came in that had my name tattooed on their body.
Oh.
It was equal parts fright, shame. Anyway.
Well, like Insomniac Jesus is saying drinking chew spit. Okay, that's gross, but I think we can say that's different than tricking a mentally handicapped kid into getting implants.
Yeah, that was something that lasted maybe 30 minutes after, where my stomach hurt. But
it was longer than 30 minutes. You're right, Ashley. It's not life altering, but trust me, I know the guy who drank a bottle of me and my brother's combined chew spit, and he suffered for longer than 30 minutes. But anyway.
Well, I only had to take a shot of it, so it wasn't that awful.
Oh, I forgot that you had something. I forgot you went through with that
that's
well.
what he's talking about.
Oh, I thought he was talking about years ago with the what would you do for, there were a guy who drank a bottle of chew spit. There was my brother and I combined. Anyway, I don't want to be.
Too much.
I don't want to be compared to anything like what we just read, Today's stupid news report's just been terrible. I told you.
Yeah.
Everything is awful and terrible. I'm pissed, but also enjoying the hell out of it.
Well, it's crazy to believe that this stuff happens.
Okay, I got time for one more. Do I have time for one more? This will work fine because there's no reason to spend any real emotional energy on this here next deal, because all it is the latest attention-starved lunatic trying to get famous on that godless, soulless social media. There's a woman on TikTok. She's a Brazilian model. Her name is Deborah something. Who cares? She says her new skincare idea is the way to go if and you want to reverse aging and all that type of thing. I'm sure you hear about that all the time. Here's the latest product that'll reverse the wrinkles and the crow's feet. She says this is the new way to go. She cakes her own face with her own wet, warm, soft feces.
Can you imagine? You tell your buddies, I'm dating a Brazilian model. Oh, tell me more. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you might know her. She puts her own poop on her face. That just ruins it.
Yeah. Don't Google her name, please.
Now, Ashley, let's say this worked. And I'm not suggesting you need anything like this, but you're as you age, and they say this really works. You just put your own feces on your face. Would you do it?
No, I wouldn't.
Man. So the gal posted a video. She pinches her nose closed with a clothespin, and then she wipes her own poop onto her own stupid face.
Oh, no.
She leaves it on for several minutes. She washes it off. She says it works for her, and it prevents her skin from flaking. For God's sake, get a hold of yourself.
How does she not have permanent pink eye?
Take a look at what you're doing.
Yeah, I watched the video, and I wish I didn't. It's probably fake, but even so, come on, man.
Oh, I didn't even consider that, and that was stupid of me. But even if it is fake, that's how you want to be as somebody? That's what you want to be known by? Do you stop and look at what you're doing? Okay, this is the same lady who, for the love of God, she had a different skincare idea years ago. She went ahead on the internet years ago and put her period blood on her own face.
Jeez.
Or, now that Josh has woken me up, or possibly faked putting her own period blood. She married her cousin, too, it says here. She married her cousin. So she's just anything and everything for her name to be said out loud. Please, lady, go get some help. I mean, not that we care. Go ahead and make yourself sick as a dog from your own blood and turds as much as I care. But just go get some help because we don't want to have to deal with you anymore.
Now the trend is salmon sperm, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that like a legitimate thing people are doing, the Kardashians and whatnot? And maybe even Jennifer Aniston?
I watched the episode of the Kardashians getting it done. It's weird. They talk about it like it's just putting lotion on your face.
And what was it again? What do they do?
The lotion on its. They use salmon sperm.
Right.
Who, by the way, is sperming these salmon?
Yeah, who's milking these things?
Oh, I never thought of that.
They must be making a pretty good penny.
You think so?
I hope so.
Could be like bull semen. You know?
Oh, true.
You just never know. You never know where the money could be.
You never know where the money could be.
It's in the money shots, apparently, Waffle. That's where the money is.
Sports on the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
If I'm Aaron Rodgers, I say, Coach, you got to coach me hard. You get on me, get in my ass, get on my ass. Kick me in the behind when I need it. Get in my ass.
Oopsies.
There's a radio sports personality who probably wants a do-over on that one.
Yeah, it's tough. It happens to everybody. Why did it come out that way?
Get in my ass instead of get on my ass. That's
being
not
hard
right.
And oh boy,
Josh,
Yes,
let me
sir.
ask you a question, Josh. If there was a listener named Bob in our audience right now, and Bob is sound asleep, and you desperately wanted him to wake up, how would you do it?
Bob.
Cock-a-doodle-doo! Bob! Okay, just a minute ago off air, we were talking about the movie What About Bob? Listeners brought it up. I guess there was a story in our stupid news that reminded people of the movie What About Bob?
Yeah, the beating yourself up story.
I don't remember a scene from What About Bob where Bob beats himself up.
I don't remember that either. But
that's a brilliant movie.
Such a funny movie.
One of my favorite movies of all time. And
Richard Dreyfuss, man.
I know everyone likes to swing from Bill Murray's jock. And,
I do.
And he's a talented guy, no question. Richard Dreyfuss was the reason that movie was as great as it was. That dude was effing brilliant.
He was
And
so
off
good.
air, Josh and I were talking about the scene where he just cannot wake Bob up. And it kills me every time I watch the movie. Bob! Twins lost the series final to Kansas City. Doesn't bother me. They won the series. That's all I care about as a fan. Win the series. 4-1 was how they wrapped it up. Right here in town yesterday at Target Field. Next up, they're back at it right away. They're in Texas for a series with the Rangers. Game 1 of 4 is tonight. Boy, the Viking season's off to a great start.
Yeah, this is going well.
Everything's going well with the Vikings.
So
We'll
mad.
tell you all about that when Randy Shaver, and I think a special Thursday appearance by Brad Ryder today, when those boys come into the mix. Stay around. Josh's News is coming up next. Bob!
Did you know that Standard Heating opened its doors over 90 years ago? That's right. Tony Ferreira opened the doors in 1930, now ran by his granddaughter Claire Ferreira. Call Standard Heating and Air Conditioning today and experience the customer service and care that holds true today.
It is savings on a stick season with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning's State Fair specials. Deals on deals on deals that can save you thousands. Visit standardheating.com for all their State Fair deals. Standard Heating, providing the comfort you deserve since 1930.
Named one of the best personal finance podcasts, The Stacking Benjamin Show with Joe and his friends makes financial literacy fun.
We see money inefficiency OG around us all the time. We've got a few skeletons sitting out in the open, and maybe we need to broom them into the closet, if you know what I mean.
Nope, take that out.
What is...
Whatever you were going for didn't land right. Who's got a shovel and some lime?
Maybe you need to do that with your financial picture. I don't know.
Find out more by searching the Stacking Benjamins podcast, wherever you listen.
Half-Assed Morning Show. 93X.
Put the gun on the table. He asked me to give him all the money and everything I got in the register. And I told him, yes, I give you everything.
You know, it can only be described as the least successful heist of the century. A Minnesota man found himself outmatched by an 8-year-old girl with a baseball bat. I love this story. The 37-year-old, clearly not cut out for a life of crime, decided to rob a liquor store in Maplewood, only to have his plans foiled by a pint-sized powerhouse. The would-be robber, wearing an Amazon uniform, strolled into Big Discount Liquors around 9:30 p.m. Saturday and pulled out what he probably thought was his ticket to easy money, a BB gun. He demanded all the cash from the register, and the store's clerk calmly agreed to hand it over to protect his daughter. But as the thief tried to make his grand move behind the counter, he clearly didn't account for one thing. The store owner's daughter, a fearless 8-year-old who wasn't about to let this go down without a fight. Surveillance footage, which you can see on 93x.com, shows the moment when the dad quickly takes down the wannabe criminal with a solid punch. Just when you think it couldn't get any worse for the bumbling bad guy, enter the 8-year-old vigilante. Armed with a baseball bat, she didn't hesitate to start swinging, turning the thief's bad day into an absolute disaster. The footage captured her landing hit after hit while her dad keeps the guy pinned. The liquor store owner later admitted he had no idea his daughter had gone full superhero until he reviewed the footage.
I just want to cry when I see the video because I was like, I don't expect she to do that. I expect like a little girl crying or screaming. She said she want to defend me. So I'm so proud of her. She's so strong.
I'm coming to the rescue.
Yes, she did. To add insult to injury, an Amazon spokesperson confirmed the guy who got beaten up by the little girl had been working as a delivery associate for a third-party service and was immediately fired.
Tough kid, huh?
Yeah, so
awesome.
On his mugshot, he got his ass beat. Oh, so good.
You know, my parents made it very clear to us when we were young that there weren't any 8-year-olds that were going to keep them from drinking. They made that very clear to us.
They would have fought them off.
Mm-hmm.
I know many of you feel the same frustration I do about criminals who keep getting away with their crimes. And while it doesn't happen often enough, finally someone had the guts to do something about it. Because nothing says protecting our children quite like banning a 68-year-old crossing guard from the heinous act of, let me check my notes here, high-fiving kids.
Oh, no.
In what can only be described as a triumph of bureaucratic wisdom, a school board in Australia has decided the real threat to student safety isn't speeding cars or distracted drivers, but rather the dangerous display of joy from a crossing supervisor who dared to lift spirits with a friendly gesture. So after one single parent complained, the council swooped in to save the day, ensuring that John Golden, a man recently honored for his outstanding contributions to community safety, is now forbidden from the perilous practice of the high five. Finally, the single complaining parent can sleep soundly knowing their school is free from the menace of cheerful greetings. A petition has already gained more than 500 signatures as parents and students stand with the man who was just named last month as Crossing Superior of the Year and someone they've called the community's morale booster.
But now he can't dump high fives on little kids
as they walk across the street.
Because one parent had an issue with it, and we don't really know exactly what the issue was.
Well, that was, you shouldn't be touching kids. This is,
it was about touching the children?
Yeah, making contact with them, any physical contact.
Boy, she sounds like a fun mom.
Yeah, no high-fiving. You can't high-five them.
How about a birthday party at that house, huh? I bet they cut loose.
A 47-year-old man from Hawaii decided the island needed a bit more excitement, like homemade bombs scattered around schools just for fun. Police in Maui traced several improvised explosives back to him thanks to his fingerprints on the packing tape used to assemble a bomb left near an elementary school. Brilliant! When the FBI found an explosive device near the school in July, they conveniently lifted the suspect, Robert Francis Dorman's fingerprints right off the tape and noticed his cell phone was pinging near the scene twice, because why not make it easy for him? To top it off, he texted someone about needing to set off some explosives to, quote, feel better.
Oh.
If convicted, he could be looking at about 20 years in prison, plenty of time to rethink his hobbies.
Man, everybody needs to blow off steam every once and again, but I've never decided to go light off some bombs.
Not me either, I guess. Maybe firecrackers.
You ever known one of those homemade bomb maker type of folks?
Yep.
Yes.
Grew up with one down the block. He used to make pipe bombs when he was in high school.
Scary crowd, aren't they?
Yeah, he always made me uncomfortable. But I got to tell you, as like a fifth grader, it seemed kind of cool, not realizing that he was probably absolutely insane.
And then they turned into the pyro people, too.
Oh, he was
usually
a combination. But he also had like swords and ninja stars and all kinds of stuff on his walls. So.
And he's in jail now?
He was cool. I'm not exactly sure, but there was some allegations of something pretty bad.
Well, the homemade bomb maker that I knew as a kid, yes, is incarcerated now.
In a classic case of crime doesn't pay, especially if you're really bad at it, An arsonist in Australia is now wanted after they set themselves on fire while attempting to burn down a barber shop. I love the instant karma. You can see this video on 93x.com as well. The two suspects rolled up to the Gold Blade Barber Shop on bicycles, wearing motorcycle helmets and dark clothing. One of the masterminds used a hammer to smash the glass door, while the other waltzed through the shards with a large red can, ready to make some trouble.
I'm on a bicycle with a motorcycle helmet on.
Can't look cooler than this.
I'm just a jackass is what I am.
But as they doused the shop in accelerant and lit the match, things quickly got too hot to handle. The video shows a glorious moment of karma as a ball of orange flames decided to turn on the arsonist, setting their clothing ablaze. Once the panicked arsonist managed to extinguish himself, he hopped back on his bike, regrouped with his accomplice, and disappeared into the night. As of now, police haven't released an update on the investigation, probably because they're still laughing about it.
Yeah, that's just good old-fashioned fun right there for everybody.
Why did he dump it on like the counter? That'd be harder to burn than there was like a couch and chairs and stuff right behind him.
What's the kid's name
really
over
wanted
at Wapple?
to do some damage.
Because he's stupid.
It's the heat of the moment type thing. We, really, honestly, we probably all would make that mistake if we decided to burn down a barbershop. We would miss the obvious. It's a pressure-packed situation. You know, you're nervous. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, you mean I missed the pile of burnable paper over there in the corner?
Until you've been there, Wapple, until you've been in position to burn down your neighborhood barbershop, you really can't comment on such a thing.
A 45-year-old homeowner in Edison, New Jersey got absolutely drenched in a nightmare of home ownership when a contractor working nearby accidentally set the neighborhood into a water park. The contractor ruptured a water main, causing a 30-inch break and unleashing a geyser of water so powerful, it literally peeled the roof back on the poor homeowner's house.
I was very scared because it was coming at a certain angle, so if it came at any other angle, it could have hit any of these houses.
This is a video you should check out.
It's awesome.
It's crazy.
So much.
Again, on 93x.com. 2 homes had to be evacuated after the incident, and footage of the house getting blasted quickly went viral on TikTok and YouTube, showing the house getting hosed down as if it insulted Poseidon, the god of the sea.
The way this 30-inch main broke, it is literally dousing this house with water at a high rate of speed.
Fortunately, nobody was injured, but the woman living in the house is now on the hunt for a new place to stay while the damage is assessed, and her house is recovering from its very aggressive bath.
There was a few different contractors that were working in the area at the same time, so we don't know exactly which one was responsible. We will find out.
You can see that video on 93x.com.
I want to swing over to this .com you've been talking about.
Yeah, we got a couple good things up there today.
I could see all the contractors just pointing fingers. Not us. It was the electricians.
The main water
main, yeah.
Main water main busted on them.
In a truly bizarre case of shopping gone wrong, a 21-year-old New Jersey man decided Target's toy aisle was the perfect place to masturbate. Jason Banks was caught with his pants down, literally, at the Target store, where he was spotted getting a bit too friendly with himself among action figures. After a week-long search, police finally found Banks, presumably asked him to wash his hands, and then promptly arrested him.
Oh,
Gross.
you're right about this water main video, Josh. This is like a Jada Fire movie marathon in 30 seconds.
Now, doesn't Peter North kind of have a reputation for something like that, too, or is it a different porn star?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
The usually serene streets of Northside San Antonio were transformed into the setting for a spectacle which left residents doing double takes and double checks their windows. On a Tuesday morning, as folks went about their daily routines, one man decided to add a new meaning to the phrase, letting it all hang out, by taking a casual, completely naked stroll through the Castle Hills Forest neighborhood. Harley Walters, a longtime resident, was working from home when he got a front row seat to the unexpected show. "I couldn't believe my eyes," Walters exclaimed. And to make matters worse, he joked he wasn't even walking his dog with a leash.
How dare he walk his dog without a leash?
Concerned locals approached the man only to find out he was blissfully unaware of his pants-free predicament, thanks to a rather intense mushroom-induced adventure.
It was just true concern of, was he okay? The other gentleman that stopped him on the street as well said, "Hey, are you aware you don't have pants on?"
If that's what drugs cause, then let's not do it.
Yep, maybe not.
Cute.
The story wrapped up with the police courtesy ride home for the free-spirited fellow. and a collective sigh of relief from the community. They're glad he's off the street. Police say the man wasn't charged with a crime.
He did not know that he was naked because he was so high on mushrooms.
Yeah, had no clue, apparently.
Grandma had to chime in there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, she's got a point.
Don't do drugs, kids.
Yeah, slow down on the mushrooms, pal. You're walking around completely naked.
Don't be such a square, Grandma.
She's going to be on the next Dare t-shirt.
In a plot twist, which sounds like it could be a scene ripped from the script of the 1980 Leslie Nielsen comedy Airplane, passengers on Alaska Airlines Flight 3492 found out the hard way that not all pilots are ready for prime time. What was supposed to be a routine flight from San Francisco to Jackson Hole turned out to be a surprise detour when the pilot casually announced he wasn't qualified to land at their destination. The August 8th flight seemed routine until it neared Jackson Hole. As passengers prepared for landing, a passenger reported the pilot announced this.
Hey, I'm sorry, folks, but due to me not having the proper qualifications to land in Jackson Hole, we need to divert to Salt Lake City, Utah. We'll keep you posted on the next steps.
That was an excellent recreation of what passengers said the pilot said over the speaker.
So more or less, just a heads up, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, I know how to take off. I did pretty well on the flying part, but the landing I can't do here.
That would not be reassuring in any way, shape, or form if I'm sitting on that airplane.
And many passengers said it was the roughest landing they ever experienced.
So he went ahead and did it anyway.
It sounds that way, yeah.
Okay.
Jackson Hole Airport is at an elevation of nearly 6,500 feet. The airport has qualifications as well as a special pilot rating requirement, which says that a more experienced pilot needs to land at the airport due to its tricky approach. Apparently, there's frequent downdrafts and wind shears, which combined with a short runway make it dangerous, so the pilot may have not been senior enough to land in difficult conditions.
Sure. Well, F me running.
In other bizarre airplane news, what might be the most unexpected reason for an emergency landing happened on an American Airlines flight from L.A. to New York, which found itself making a pit stop in Phoenix, all thanks to a few unwanted passengers hitching a ride in a woman's hair. A 32-year-old woman's lice infestation caused enough of a stir to ground the flight, leaving everyone on board scratching their heads, hopefully metaphorically, as they wondered why their cross-country journey suddenly involved an unplanned desert layover. Those two girls, they saw bugs crawling out of a woman's hair and alerted the flight attendant, a passenger said in a video on social media. American Airlines later confirmed in a statement the flight was diverted due to a medical emergency, they called it. If you find yourself scratching your head after that strange story, you probably have lice.
Even just taking a picture with a kid next to you or your friend or reading a book next to your friend is a really easy way to pick that up. They just crawl from hair strand to hair strand.
That was a local salon who says it's being reported there's a significant uptick in lice cases here in Minnesota.
Oh, never had lice.
No.
Always was so terrified, though, because I knew my mom would want to just shave the heads.
Mm-hmm. That's what we had to do. We had lice a couple times as kids.
Yeah, getting that lice checked at school, that was always a nervous couple seconds there.
Some people like to make fun of us bald guys. Guess what? I don't have to worry about lice.
True.
So they really landed a plane because some lady was just riddled with head lice?
Supposedly.
Huh.
I didn't know that could bring down a plane.
No.
Maybe I should say that differently.
Well,
I know they would land a plane because of that.
I don't think I ever had head lice. I don't know. I know. I don't know. I can't remember. I guess maybe I'd have to ask my mother. But I remember it being a big deal. And then, the neighbor kid got it, and then we had to stay away from him for a few days.
Oh, that freaks my wife out, man.
I remember our parents, sifting through our hair like monkeys in the wild, a time or two. I don't remember if we ever caught that.
Yeah,
I know our bus driver in elementary school had it all year round.
Oh.
And we never let him forget it.
Any soft surface, my wife would basically just take outside and start on fire. She cannot stand lice. It freaks her out.
What do you mean?
If there's a lice in the house, it just goes nuts.
So you had lice
Burning
in
sheets. Oh, yeah.
You had it in the house.
Kids have had it before.
Fair enough.
New on Prime Video, Jackpot, starring John Cena. The action comedy is about a lethal lottery where whoever has the winning ticket has to survive until sundown because any person that didn't win can kill them and then claim the prize. Text Bell to the Luther Bloomington Kia text line, 651-989-9393. That'll get you a chance to see Metallica's Sunday show at U.S. Bank Stadium. Again, the number 651-989-9393, and that word is Bell, B-E-L-L, furnished by Live Nation. Could you tell for a split second I forgot how to spell Bell?
No.
Okay, good.
I didn't notice a damn thing. How many people do they fit in that new Metrodome for a concert?
Oh.
I'm not sure for a concert.
A lot. What do they seat there for a football game? 50,000?
60,000? Yeah, let's see. U.S. Bank Stadium.
Yeah, and you probably got to add, I don't know, a handful of thousand with the floor being, used for seating.
73,000 for events like concerts.
Really?
Oh, wow.
Holy cow.
That's a lot of people not going to work on Monday morning.
That is a lot of lice potential with that many people there. Holy Hannah. Jennifer Lawrence, J-Law, 34 today.
The lice potential.
Everywhere I go, I always make sure I pay attention to the LP.
Did your grade school bus driver have terrible head lice?
No, but they were always cranky.
And if he did you shout it at him every day from the back of the bus as a fourth grader?
No, it sounds like something you guys did.
Oh, my God. I don't know how that guy didn't just stab us to death.
Ben Affleck is 52 and seems kind of sad nowadays.
Yeah, he does.
Too bad.
Why is he sad?
Breaking up with J-Lo.
Yeah. Oh, for Christ's sake.
He did it once, he can do it again.
He's an expert, you're saying? Happy birthday to Leah, turning the big 07 today from Dad, Pancakes by the Lake, Jesus.
Prime head lice age right there, turning 7.
Oh, yeah, you're right there in the wheelhouse. You know what? Maybe it's Leia. I apologize if I messed that up.
Leah, whatever.
I'm not sure. And that's 93X News.
Randy Shaver
is a big humper, literally humping everyone. He is social, but he's more concerned about humping everybody.
on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
A minimum of 100 million. A minimum. Long as I got my people safe at TNT, man, I feel really good. Like I say, they're going to pay me to go and talk about nothing, so I can't look a give horse in the mouth. Hey, Dan, I probably would have had to do an honest day's work if I went to one of those other networks.
You know I love Charles Barkley, don't you, Josh?
I think we all do.
And I love that NBA on TNT friggin' program, but I got to say, I'm so friggin' burned out on who's going to be on the show? TNT, are they going to sign that? But anyway, that's Charles Barkley there saying he could have made $100 million more if he went somewhere else.
Yeah, can you imagine? He turned down $100 million. That's what he says.
$100 million. Hello, Randy Shaver, and hello to the lonely boy, Brad Ryder.
Good morning.
Good morning.
What do you think about that? $100 million, Randy Shaver.
I think WAP will try to get me back on TV.
I had such a bad brain fart. I was going
in the world.
Maybe he thought you were struggling financially.
What in the hell are we talking about?
For some reason, I was thinking in my head, don't say it, don't say it, don't say it, and then I said it.
That's when you say it.
Yep.
I have to be honest, I have no idea what we're talking about. Does anybody want to tell me?
I accidentally said Carol Evans, Randy Shaver.
Oh, for Christ's sake, you said it for 25 years. Randy, give the kid a break. You just retired.
He gave me the willies like I was back at work.
Oh, no.
It's like being back with a bad ex. Ooh.
Would you go
you
back
woke up from a wonderful dream where you thought you retired.
Right.
Would you go back on television today for $100 million?
Well, of course I would.
But you have to do the morning show, the stupid noon show that nobody watches, the 6 o'clock show. You have to do all the shows, 24 hours.
I have to do all the shows.
Yes, the morning show, everything.
For how long?
Another, let's see, another 10 years.
No.
No. For $100 million?
No.
He wouldn't do it, Brad.
No.
Well, if you threw fair appearances in there, I know he wouldn't do it.
Absolutely not.
Yeah. Forget it. That's a great idea, Brad Ryder. Okay, Randy Shaver. You only have to do your 6 and 10 o'clock show like you always did, right?
Okay.
But you have to go to every day at the Minnesota State Fair over the next, let's stick with 10 years.
Well, in 10 years, I'll probably not be here. So I guess it's a pretty safe bet that I could.
What do you mean?
handle.
You're a very healthy man.
Well, I appreciate that, but
not last time I saw him.
10 years is a long time from now.
Every day at the state fair.
You also have to talk to every single person who comes up to you at the fair.
Okay, well, then the answer's no.
The guy doesn't like people. I can relate to that.
I don't like people.
Are you even going to go to the Minnesota State Fair this year, Randy? Or
I'm actually going to see Nate Bargatze.
Oh, nice! I am too.
So am I, Randy.
All my kids are going to be in town. We're all going together.
Who?
A comedian. He's very popular.
Nate Bargatze.
Yeah,
never heard of him.
Yeah, Randy, we're going to be there too that night.
Josh, you've heard of that guy?
Yeah, we've played clips of his before.
Yeah, he's so funny.
He's a clean comic.
Yeah,
he is.
That's why you
he
don't
showers daily.
Yeah.
know or like him.
No lice.
He's a clean comic. I've never really gravitated towards the clean comics, although some I've really loved, like Bob Newhart and who am I missing? I was trying to think of some of the older comics who were clean. Newhart. I know I'm missing someone from the old days.
Seinfeld, for sure.
Oh, I never cared for Jerry Seinfeld.
I mean, Dangerfield was sort of clean. I mean, he had some.
Yeah. Well, yeah, there was some little bit of blue sexual humor, but you're right, Brad Ryder. That's a good one.
Those guys back in that day, most all of them were like Rodney Dangerfield. They were clean.
But I only saw him on television. I don't know what Dangerfield was like in person.
Right.
But okay, a more modern example. Modern, I don't know. And I think you'll be surprised to hear me say this, but I once bought a Jeff Foxworthy record.
Sure.
I was into him.
And I really liked it.
Oh, yeah, he's very funny.
When he got to when you drive a car down the road and the freeway, I didn't like that. The redneck jokes got tired, but his other comedy was pretty strong.
Oh, I liked
for a clean comic.
Gilbert Gottfried comes to mind as a
Oh my God.
The aristocrats.
Oh my, that joke! Holy cow!
I gotta say though, I was even surprised. This was like mid-90s. I was on a road trip, and I'm battling to stay awake. Stopped at a gas station, went through their cassette bucket, like gas stations used to have. They had like 75-cent cassette tapes. I'm looking for something to keep me awake, so I bought a Jeff Foxworthy comedy record, and I never really cared for the guy, but I enjoyed it. And he was clean as a whistle.
One that a lot of people are texting in, and it's tough to support him publicly at this point, but boy, did I love Bill Cosby, and there was a clean comic.
Yeah.
Dude, that's a very good example.
He was a genius.
That is a very good example.
Again, one of the best of all time.
We're well aware of
exclusively as a comedian, one of the best of all time.
Louis Anderson. These are great answers.
Yeah, that's a really good one.
These are great. There was a Bill Cosby record that came out in the mid-'60s called Wonderfulness. Wonderfulness. My brother and I listened to it when we were little kids. We listened to it over and over and over again. I still remember. We could damn near recite that record. Bill Cosby is a great example of a brilliant, clean comic. Unfortunately, we learned that his private life was somewhat of a horror show.
D&D Jesus mentioned Mitch Hedberg. Yeah, I don't know if I ever heard a dirty joke from him.
I was thinking that.
I would have totally forgotten
One of my
about
favorites.
him. Would have totally forgotten about him. If you take your wallet and your dog for a walk on a chain, you might be a rat. I got tired of that gimmick, but he had some good stuff otherwise, Jeff Foxworthy.
Oh, geez, Jesus said Bill Burr is as clean as the next guy. You should play his clips live and unedited.
Yeah, totally.
Go to YouTube real quick here.
I don't know if I know.
Grab one at random. You'll be fine.
I don't know Bill Burr, but
oh, he's funny.
I certainly know. That's pretty good. Yeah, my brother and I could. There's a scene isn't the word because it's a comedy record. Somebody help me. There's a bit from the Wonderfulness Bill Cosby record where he talks about he and his buddies racing go-karts. My brother and I could basically recite that from start to finish. What are you going to do? Brad Ryder, Randy Shaver, thanks for joining us. Bye, Dan. I mentioned earlier, I'm not too worried about the Twins losing that series finale yesterday to Kansas City. They won the series, and I'm pleased with that.
I mean, the only sad part is that Cleveland won yesterday, so the Twins lost a game in
Sure.
in the race. But
I'm not really that panicked about that just yet.
We got a long way to go.
Yeah, we got a ways to go. There will certainly be a time in the baseball season where I'll be looking at the scoreboard, and then it's going to matter. Right now, I'm going to do the Tom Kelly thing. I'm just concerned about winning the series.
Right.
I think they're going to have to be within a couple of games when they play them in Cleveland, though. Obviously in September.
Yeah,
I think that is right.
I think so.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'll go along with that, Randy Shaver. Pardon me, Brad Ryder.
They have an interesting series this weekend in Texas. The Rangers, with all the success they've had lately, have been really bad this year, and they're like 9 games under 500, and they're trying to figure out a way to at least get to 500 and maybe get a chance to be considered in a wild card situation. So they're going to be desperate this weekend, but they're still very good. They've got a great lineup, and so the Twins will be challenged this weekend for sure. But Brad's right; they've got to find a way to stay within striking range of Cleveland. The only other thing that's working in their favor right now is that if you look at the wild card race, they're in really good shape. And, if that's the worst thing that happens, we've been there before. So be nice to win the division, be nice to have the best record, be nice to get to have all that. But making the playoffs is going to be the most important thing. So.
Cole Reagans, the Royals starter, was good yesterday.
Yes, he was.
Struck out 8 in 7 innings, no walks, allowed 1 run on only 5 hits. Carlos Santana hit a 4th-inning rod, and that was the only offense the Twins came up with. They did load the bases in the 5th, but Royce Lewis grounded smooth out. So
Santana unloads to left, down the line, back it goes, in the corner and gone. Number 16 for Carlos Santana, playing that sweet music here in Game 3.
There you go. Now, Rocco said this of Byron Buxton after the game. He said he will likely remain out of the lineup, not for long. I'll get there. Not a long while, but a little while.
Rocco!
He had some problems with his hip bone the other day. They say that there's nothing terrible that came up on MRI tests, but they're still going to rest Buck for not a long while, but a little while. They're back at it.
Does rest mean he's not starting in center, but he's going to DH?
No, I think that means he's just be sitting in the dugout.
Okay.
Chewing tobacco and playing pranks on they start up a series right away now. Tonight they're in Texas against the Rangers.
Yep. Big 4-game series.
Bailey Ober going to pitch tonight.
The number 1 starter in this rotation.
We started something now. Everyone's texted in their favorite clean comic. Stephen Wright.
Oh, sure.
Oh, he's great.
See Willie Miles.
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah, one of the best I've ever seen live.
Stephen Wright. One of the greatest of all time. I mean, when he first hit the scene, there was nobody like him. Absolutely nobody like him. Now, there have been many, many copycats since, but Stephen Wright was truly an original. I remember seeing him on Letterman when he first started off in like 1981. I wish I could do a Stephen Wright impersonation. I can't. I'll try my best. But this was one joke that he told 40 years ago that blew me away. I'm taking Lamaze classes. Nobody's having a baby. Just having trouble breathing.
It's my birthday recently. For my birthday, I got a humidifier and a dehumidifier. Put them in the same room, let them fight it out.
Oh, wow. And there are some of our listeners who can quote the Bill Cosby Wonderfulness record the way my brother and I could when we were kids. That's really cool that you know that record, too. Okay, back to yesterday's ball game with the Royals. I mentioned Carlos Santana, 4th inning, hit a dong. I don't know if this is a big deal or not. You're going to have to tell me. The Twins' lone run, was Carlos Santana's home run. It was his 16th home run of the year. Good for Carlos. The game yesterday, I guess, was a costly one for one Twins fan. The Twins' official Twitter account explained that there was more to Santana's dong than meets the eye. Apparently, a Twins fan posted a message this past February on Twitter that said, "I will do a shot of olive oil if Carlos Santana hits over 15 home runs this baseball season, bro, there's like no way y'all are actually expecting this to happen. But he did. Carlos hit his 16th yesterday. So if this dude plans on following through, is that a terrible thing to take a shot of olive oil?
No, people do it.
Not bad.
People do it for health benefits. Some people think it helps with like your heart and your skin.
Probably just not the greatest going down.
So then what I'm
so thick.
What I'm holding here is clickbait.
No, it's just, it's funny that the Twins got involved. I think that's the bit.
Okay.
The Twins must have saw that tweet and held on to it and then, retweeted and said, hey, pal, pay up.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, receipts. Got to keep those receipts.
I was under the assumption, knowing nothing about cooking or food at all, that maybe taking a shot of olive oil is just a horribly disgusting thing. But
Sounds pretty gross. But yeah, people do it. There's some people that do it every morning.
You know what's rough the first time? How do they say that again? Apple cider vinegar.
Ooh, baby.
Yeah. That is rough.
I've never. Why'd you do that? Was it a cure for something?
gout.
Oh, I thought that was like cherry juice you're supposed to drink.
That too. That too.
It's good for a lot of different things.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Mm-hmm.
When I first was saddled with gout, I was trying all kinds of advice from friends who also had it. And some of them said, yeah, chug cherry juice, which by God I did, Josh. And I learned to really, I thought, everyone told me, you can't get sugary stuff. You have to get just 100% pure cherry juice. And I thought, that's going to be bad. It actually wasn't that bad.
Sounds good, actually.
But the apple cider vinegar, that was rough the first time. You get a little bit used to it.
Yeah, I've never.
I heard Ron Gardenhire is an advocate of taking, I think, 2 shots a day of apple cider vinegar. He says it's kept them away from having this problem and that problem. Gardy, I believe, said that.
Really?
Yeah.
I worked at a restaurant, and we used to sell these very expensive shots of liquefied grass, wheatgrass.
Yep.
I mean, people would come. It was really trendy. I don't know if it still is, but people would come in. I think we charged like $10 a shot for it. It was crazy.
And that was a long time ago, too.
Oh, yeah, and there was people that would come every day for it, every single day.
All right, other clean comics that people loved. Steve Martin, Foster Brooks.
Yeah, Foster Brooks.
I thought I had another one in
Carrot
here.
Top. A few people have texted in on Carrot Top.
Carrot Top is awesome.
I think he's great.
Top.
I know he's
absolutely awesome.
People pick on the guy, but I think he's really funny.
If you see his show in Vegas, you'll die.
I know
It's
you
so
loved
funny.
it.
I loved it. I've seen it multiple times. He's really good.
The first time you went and saw Carrot Top, you came back to town pumped.
I was.
You
and I
couldn't wait
still
to
am.
tell us about it. You couldn't wait.
Anybody that goes to Vegas that's never been there for the first time, or going there for the first time, I always recommend. It's not expensive, but it's a great hour. You'll laugh your butt off the whole time.
Tim Conway.
Sure.
My God, when I was a kid,
Carol Burnett, for that matter.
Oh, yeah.
I idolized Tim Conway and Harvey Korman when I was a kid from watching the Carol Burnett show.
Lisa Lampanelli.
Speaking of Vegas and comedians, the hardest I've ever laughed in my life was at Brad Garrett's Comedy Club in Vegas. Randy, I don't know if you've ever been there or not.
Yep, been there a few times.
Have you seen Brad Garrett perform?
I have not seen him. I've seen other people there.
He was so funny. I mean, he's probably bordering on not clean, but he was the funniest stand-up comedian I've ever seen.
Dude.
And he doesn't really do stand-up. I mean, he's the guy from Everybody Loves Raymond.
Right.
Yeah, we know who that guy is.
But he was so funny.
Robin Williams, of course. Well, he got pretty filthy.
Yeah, he could get pretty dirty.
I mean, it wasn't so much about constant F-bombs, but his material got pretty filthy. Mr. Tim Conway, when I was a kid, I loved to go around the house. Introducing isn't the word. Intimidating isn't the word either. My impersonation. I used to like to go around the house with my impersonation of a Mr. Huygens. Do you guys remember that character from the Carol Burnett show?
I do.
Mr. Huygens.
Mr. Huygens.
And my folks humored me by acting like they enjoyed it.
Benny Hill.
Benny Hill. All right, how about this? Cincinnati Reds pitcher Hunter Green, this poor bastard. Damn, this sucks. And this is twice now this baseball season that's happened to him. He had to up and vomit on the field.
I didn't see it in the moment. I found out about it a little bit later, but yeah, it's just We're not exactly sure what's happened. I think he feels better after it happens. I think a lot of us feel like throwing up during the game sometimes, and it doesn't come out, so maybe he just feels better after that.
That's one of his stories. Is that the manager?
That's the manager, David Bell.
David Bell, he was talking about. So maybe you remember a couple months ago, Hunter Green.
Yes.
He's on the hill for the Reds, and he had to turn his back to the plate and just, he sprayed.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah.
And I think it was a very hot day. Well, yesterday,
he said he overhydrated. The first time he claimed, he drank too much water because of how hot it was.
Okay.
He overdid it.
What day is it today? Wednesday? Thursday?
Thursday.
So Tuesday, he's on the bump for the Reds against the Cardinals. This time, he turned his back to the plate. He put his mitt over his face.
Oh, gosh.
But the spray made it through the webbing of his baseball glove.
Now it's on his glove.
I bet he can afford more than one glove, actually.
Well, I'm sure he can, but that's just gross.
Well, but I think the first time he did it, everyone lit him up so much, I think, for spraying so violently. This time he tried to cover it up. Is that up on our website?
Yep.
Poor bastard.
I was wondering if anyone was going to be brave enough to say that name.
I held out as long as I could.
You dick. I saw it texted in over and over again on Clean Comics.
I was going to, and then I didn't, and then so many people texted.
Oh, God, that Jim Gaffigan dude.
I love Jim Gaffigan.
I want to pick up my television and smash my face into it until I die.
Can't be that
dramatic.
What's funny about the audio of this second Hunter Green vomiting episode, I don't know if you have it, Josh. The announcers don't say a word, and the guy just sprays through his catcher's mitt. One of the announcers just says, "Uh-oh."
Yeah.
God,
I
that's
didn't grab
funny.
it, but that's all it was.
Oh, that's funny to me. Dude, don't do this to me. I'll have a meltdown, man. Now, from actual vomit to something that just makes me want to puke, Aaron Judge yesterday reached 300 home runs faster than any other player ever has.
Hammered in the air, deep to left field, history, number 300 for Aaron Judge, the fastest man ever in Major League Baseball to reach the 300 home run plateau.
This makes me sick.
Why?
Because he plays. What do you mean, why?
Well, you know what? You have to get past the fact he's a Yankee and just celebrate the awesomeness of the player. He's a great player. For his size, to play center field, to hit the ball the way that he does, and he's seeing a lot of good pitches this year because Soto's hitting in front of him. So he's having a monster year.
Randy Shaver, I would like to be the bigger man. I can't.
Yeah.
I can't
I know.
do it.
It's not in your nature.
No, it's not. Sometimes, yes, usually not.
When it comes to the Yankees, it's not in your nature.
It's just I can't handle it.
Yeah. I think he's a hell of a player. I think he's fun to watch.
So the players that he beat out, Ralph Kiner and Babe Ruth.
Yep.
Hit 300 career home runs pretty quickly, but not as quickly as this friggin' guy who just I don't know, how did he ended up in the Yankee system? How did that work out? See, that's the thing. From the get-go, this has been a scam that he ended up on the Yankees.
He was drafted 32nd, so a few other teams had a chance at him.
Yeah, that's what they want you to believe, isn't it, Dana? That's what they want you to believe, you friggin' sheeple.
Old is he? How old is Aaron Judge?
32.
63
so he's 32 years old. He's at 300 home runs. So figure the guy probably has 7 years left to play. And then put that into context as to what Hank Aaron did in his career. Right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Hank Aaron hit 700 or whatever it was. I don't even know the number. But here's Judge at 32 is only at 3, and I say only, fastest to 300. But think about what Hank Aaron and those guys did after 32 years old and 300.
Amazing.
That's crazy.
I assumed he was younger than that.
I did too.
You're right, and I just looked up. He didn't get to the major leagues he didn't start playing full time in the major leagues until he was 25. I mean, not that
crazy.
That's old, but like today,
Right.
some of the young talent gets up at 20, 21, 22.
Well, and back in the day when Aaron and Willie Mays and those guys played, I mean, they're in the majors by 23, 22. So
here's a text from March Madness Jesus who says Randy Shaver's Iowegian roots have never been more apparent than when he said, "Get past that he's a Yankee." See, we Minnesotans can't do that. That's the Iowegian side of you speaking.
Well,
how about this? The Chicago White Sox are going to lower their ticket prices.
They should just make it for free. Just make it for free.
It's 2-for-1s every night.
They're going to lower their ticket prices by 10% after what they've done to their fans this season.
Actually, they should pay fans to come in to watch. Because that's pretty bad. And there's not a lot of hope on the horizon either. So
no, it's not looking
Stands look pretty empty if you watch any low lights.
Now this
again though, Josh, that's playing into that narrative that the White Sox may end up moving to Nashville. There's that conversation is still out there, which would be a crazy thing to happen.
Now, let's be honest now. Like we always mention when we talk to Dick Bramer, bad news about the Chicago White Sox pleases me. It does. This pleases me.
I think what you're saying is it would be almost unprecedented for a team to leave the third largest media market in the country and go to Nashville.
Exactly.
Not that Nashville's small anymore, but still.
And by the way, Aaron Judge is fastest in terms of at-bats, not age. Fastest to 300 home runs in terms of at-bats.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
That's maybe something I left out, but a listener reminded me a minute ago. Does this mean anything to anybody? The backyard baseball video game is possibly making a comeback.
That would be awesome.
Wow.
Those are fun games.
Never saw it.
What was the baseball game that changed your relationship with a former coworker? Wasn't it a baseball game?
It was backyard baseball.
No, it wasn't backyard baseball. It was
RBI?
Little League Baseball.
Little League. Okay.
Which was my favorite ever baseball video game on the Nintendo, the original Nintendo. I don't know what you call it, but the one that came out in 89 or 90. I rented that game from a neighborhood grocery store and kept it so far past the return date that I had the police calling me. It is so easy and so fun and just, I could not stop playing Little League Baseball. I never saw backyard baseball. But it sounds like some of you younger people were dialed in.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, dude. Pablo Sanchez? Woo!
That's your guy.
Yeah,
Best,
dude,
man.
that's the dude.
Yeah.
Backyard baseball. Now, I don't know anything further than what I've told you. I don't know if it's going to be on Gamecast or GameCube or Sega or whatever they do these days. What do they do these days?
PlayStation,
Xbox.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know.
Nintendo Switch, PC. Your mom.
Your mom.
Oh, my God. Cactus Jack.
Bang, bang.
All right, so now that J.J. McCarthy kid is out for the season.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's too bad.
He tore his meniscus. The Vikes had big plans for the kid. Guess that's going to have to wait.
Yep.
Sam Darnold is there, so they're going to go ahead with him.
Sure, and he was going to start anyway.
Right. Everybody knows. I saw a headline that said Sam Darnold could be getting his best chance yet to thrive. And that's probably true.
Because the backup behind him, he's not, you know what I mean? He's good. They're going to sink or swim the whole year.
And the other thing is he's got some weapons to throw to. Once Hawkinson comes back from injury, maybe halfway through the season, he'll have Addison and Jefferson and Hawkinson, and that's a pretty good group to throw to. And Aaron Jones is really good out of the backfield. So,
all right, what about this? Vikings wide receiver Jordan Addison was carted off the field at football practice because of an ankle injury, and then the cart was pulled over by the sheriff's department, and he was cited for another DWI.
Come on.
The Vikings say they're gathering information on the situation. They'll get back to us.
They're aware of the situation.
They're aware of it.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, I heard that he was.
It sounds like he's going to be fine.
They say the injury is not serious.
He'll miss the practice with Cleveland today, but it sounds like he's going to be okay. Probably won't play in the preseason.
And this is obviously something the Vikings couldn't do anything about. So I'm not blaming their front office, but the bigger issue here is that they only have 3 draft picks next year because they moved up. They moved up to get McCarthy. They moved up to get some other guys, and now they're stuck kind of with 0 draft collateral. If you want to go out and get somebody, you have a first-rounder and you have 2 fifth-rounders. That's it.
I don't think they're going to go out and get anybody. I think they're going to stay pat with what they got, and they're just going to go.
All right, well, here are some of the options. Let's say they did want to go out and get – you're talking about get a backup quarterback. Is that what you're talking about?
Well, yeah, I'm just saying you don't have anything to offer anybody really at this point because you only have 3. You're not going to trade your number 1 draft pick, and then you only have 2 fifths, and that's it.
Here are the emergency quarterbacks the Vikings could target according to the folks at CBS Sports. If they don't want to go with Rick Mullins and Jerome Hill. Who the hell are the other guys?
Nick Mullins, Jaron Hall.
I was pretty close.
Yeah, not really.
I wasn't. Ryan Tannehill.
He's a serviceable guy.
They call him the one starting caliber quarterback still available in free agency.
Sure.
Okay.
I'd be making a phone call.
Yeah.
Again with this Trey Lance dude.
No, I think that ship has sailed. Yep, he has proven that he is not an NFL quarterback.
Well, he's not durable either. So.
Okay.
No.
And the other option mentioned on CBS Sports, Taylor Heineken.
Well, he's former Viking, right?
Who played here? Yes. But you're saying stick with the dudes who put on such a great show for us last year.
I think they're going to stay pat. I really don't, unless Darnold were to get hurt, then maybe. But, I mean, you're talking about bringing somebody in to learn your system in a hurry, and that's just, it's going to be a mess. So,
how about this from a listener? Let's start tanking for Shadur Sanders.
No. God, no.
Yeah.
We could use one of the 5th rounders on him. He'd be available yet then.
Yeah.
Isn't that Deion's son who plays quarterback for Colorado?
Yeah. Right.
Let's start tanking for Shadur.
Yeah. No thanks.
That's funny.
Is Josh Dobbs on a roster?
He is.
For now. Yeah.
I did when I was at that Vikings preseason games. I did see some people walk around Dobbs jerseys, and it's kind of like going womp womp.
I'd make a call to Tannehill though, and if he doesn't have a job, he'd probably come in and be your backup.
Yeah, call Tannehill. That's what you do whenever we're in doubt. We call Tannehill. Social anxiety Jesus. Just funny. After what Dana just brought up, social anxiety Jesus says, "Do we still have that guy that doesn't have any eyebrows?" No. Well, where's he now?
He's in San Francisco, it looks like.
Oh, maybe they're talking about Mike Yo. No, he's gone, too.
I think they're talking about Dobbs.
Mike Yo didn't have any eyebrows either.
Didn't need them.
Didn't need eyebrows. Hey, look, dudes, I don't need them.
Yep, don't need them.
All right, so that's too bad about
it is too bad.
J.J. McCarthy.
It's really a shame because the kid's a good kid. He's been working hard. It's probably would have taken over that quarterback situation at some point during the regular season. And now we won't see him at all until next year.
What about Trevor Bauer as a backup quarterback?
Oh, great idea.
Joe Mauer's not doing anything.
Yeah.
All right, back to this Addison kid now, who got wheeled off. They say his ankle injury is no big deal. I didn't realize this. The Vikings are still waiting for him to be suspended by the NFL for that falling asleep behind the wheel, drunk or high or whatever from a month ago or so. They're still waiting, and it sounds like this might take a while, like a real while. Like they might not get around to it till the middle of October or something.
It's kind of like what Kansas City is doing. They're waiting to see if Rashee Rice is actually going to be around to start the season or not, because they're expecting some sort of a suspension for his off-the-field problems this year, too. So
there's a chance that, they could get cooking. Let's say 2-3 weeks into the season, this Sam Darnold and J.J., what's his name again? The Jordan Addison are having a good thing going, right? And he could be suspended for 3-4 games or so.
There's a possibility.
And what was the deal? Was he drunk or high? I read reports.
I think he was high.
The story I read yesterday said it doesn't matter, but And just behind the wheel.
Fell asleep. Yeah.
A lot of people were poking fun at the New Orleans Saints head coach yesterday on social media. I'm not going after this guy. I'm not. Give the guy a break. High school English class was a long time ago. They're giving this guy a hard time. His name is Dennis Allen because I guess he doesn't know what a metaphor is.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave the metaphors to you guys. Thanks. All right, but what is a metaphor?
What's that?
What is a metaphor? Like, what's the official definition of metaphor?
A metaphor is like using something as comparison as like an example, right?
Okay. All right. I got it.
Why is everyone kicking this guy's ass? I mean, I'm not trying to make myself to be out even more stupid than you already think, but if you asked me yesterday what's a metaphor, I don't think I could have defined it for you.
I wasn't laughing at that. He didn't know what it was. It was just funny the way he kind of phrased it. He was like, wait, what is a metaphor?
I know Cubby can do things like that. I can't do things like that.
At least he asked what it was instead of trying to pretend that he knew what it was.
Very good point.
Yeah, that would be the route more NFL coaches would take.
Yeah, but everyone's kicking this guy's ass like they could, dump the definition of a metaphor on you faster than... Give the guy a break. I'm going to defend him because I'm probably around his age and I also don't know words.
Maybe
what they mean.
You're more of a name guy.
I know names.
Yeah, names are yours.
I'm always accurate with names.
Yes.
I mean, go ahead, quiz me. Look up a word. Look something up. I bet you I don't know it.
Like it's just any particular word?
I mean,
I got one that you have trouble with.
Monogamy.
Monogamy.
Yes.
That you pronounced it correctly.
Good job.
It's a resort up in northern Michigan.
Pelican Rapids.
Oh God.
Jace wants to know WTF is an acronym. I don't think you'll ever figure it out, my man.
See what anybody follow that?
No.
That was a good joke. You guys.
It's a solid joke.
That was a very good joke, Jace.
Yep. That's I like that one. I can follow that one. Who's this? NFL running back. Is he a running back? Anthony Richardson.
No, quarterback.
Quarterback.
Colts.
Yeah, Colts.
Oh, I know who that is now. Sure. He's supposed to be a somebody, but then he's been hurt so far, right?
Well,
Do I have the right guy?
Start. Yes, he got off to a great start last year, then got injured and missed the rest of the season.
Right. I know who this guy is now that you helped me out. He says he owns 60 pair of Crocs. I don't know why this came up, but he has told the media there in Indianapolis he owns 60 pairs of Crocs.
Okay. Well,
some of them
he's got
are all
something in common with Brett Favre then.
Oh,
yeah.
No.
If he's mentioning them during his press conference, he's probably not paying for them either.
So some of them are fancy, some of them are this, that.
Sure.
Got little
Decorate
tools on them, yeah.
All right, cool. Like I said before, I've tried them just a couple times, and my feet are too skinny.
Yeah, I can't do those.
I'd like for them to work because you guys know I don't enjoy socks and tennis shoes. I'm not 11 anymore. I don't need to wear socks and tennis shoes. So I wish that Crocs worked for me, but they just don't because of my narrow, awful, ugly feet.
Well, Juggernaut Jesus will have to get back to us on this, but he said it's okay that you don't know what a metaphor is, Nick, but do you know what a butt-for is? Do you want to ask him?
What's a butt for?
And No Hawk Welder Jesus said he met a 4 at the bar the other night.
No.
Oh, come on.
I know one night I went to bed at 2 with a 10, woke up at 10 with a 2.
That's right. Thank you, Kenny Chesney.
What's a simile, Josh?
It's the same as a metaphor, but you use like or as.
Man, see what I'm saying? How do you remember that?
My dad was a writer. I know a couple.
Well, yeah, my dad was a truck driver, but don't ask me to take a load of tampons to Lincoln, Nebraska.
Hey, you're a bad guy to ask.
Someone would be killed. Yeah. I'm always impressed by your smarts, Cubby.
I don't think I have many, but I know that kind of thing.
Hey, you want to hear a lame claim to fame story before we go?
Yeah, always.
Sure.
Always welcome lame claims to fame. Here's a listener that texted in. They titled their story. They titled their email, "A Very Semi-Interesting Story." So this ought to be good. They say, hey, guys, here's a lame claim to fame story. Back in 2005, I was working as a utility locator in the North Metro area. One day I had to work at a residence in Linwood. It was a very unique-looking house on a small 20-acre lake. My job was to dig a hole for a realtor sign. My wife and I were actually looking for a house to buy at the time, so I thought I'd ask about the place while I was there. So he goes to work at this house, little place on a lake up in Linwood. Just so happens he and his old lady are looking for a place to live, and he thought he'd ask about it. The homeowner was there. I let him know I was interested in the house and asked if I could bring the wife to see it that coming weekend. He said yes. So that Saturday afternoon, he and the wife go to look at the joint with the idea of possibly buying it. Before entering the house, the homeowner said, "Excuse the mess. I had a party last night, and my friends thought it would be funny if they brought items into the house from the garage." So there's garbage all over the interior. Stuff. Sorry about the house. I had a party. My friends brought all the garbage in from the... We fell in love with the place immediately and closed on it a couple weeks later. Now, not being a viewer of college sports back then, I didn't know who the homeowner was. I eventually found out that he's a sports broadcaster that goes by the name of Clay Matfitt. Now, he closes out his email by saying, Clay's a good buddy of the show. If you don't know Clay, maybe you remember him calling Twins games, Golden Gopher hockey, Wild. And now, for quite a stretch of time, he's been working for ESPN, and he does college football. He's great at it. He is so good at his job. One day, I think we all hope that Clay lands a solid gig here in town with the Twins or the Wild or the Vikings or whatever.
You know, there's a 50-50 chance I was at that party the night before because I went up to a few of his parties up there.
I wonder if we were at the same parties, Brad Ryder, and
might have been.
And didn't know that we should be hanging out with each other.
Maybe.
Anyway, the dude closes out his email by saying, a few years back, my nephew heard Nick say on the morning show that he would sometimes party with Clay at his Linwood home. Now, I gave it the nickname the Clayboy Mansion.
Right.
Just wondering if Nick could have been, and now Brad, could have been one of the pranksters Clay was referring to. This is from a longtime listener of the Half-Assed Morning Show. And thank you for your email. I don't remember ever doing that at one of the parties at the Clayboy Mansion where we moved garbage in from the garage into the house just to piss Clay off. But we did have some friggin' fun up there. And hell yeah, Brad Ryder, maybe we were maybe I didn't recognize it because you were bent over doing a rail off the sink or something like that.
Right. Yeah, right.
Upside down doing a keg stand.
Yeah, keg stand, or you were in a room with somebody.
That Clayboy Mansion had a grotto and everything, didn't it? I heard it was a big...
I got to ask this guy now, hopefully he's listening. Is the hot tub still there? Because I hope you scrubbed that sumbitch clean.
Okay.
I heard stories.
We had to put a no-wake buoy in that hot tub.
Boy.
Man.
Yeah, that's back when Clay was doing the not sideline stuff, but the stuff for Twins. You know, Twins on FSN. It used to be FSN, and I was working for the Twins. I went up there a few times.
Maybe we're Eskimo brothers.
Oh, I bet
doubt
you
it.
are.
I was faithfully married at that point. So.
So was I. Sharp as a bowling ball. Sharp as a bowling ball. Jesus, just text it in. Maybe Brad and I are Eskimo brothers.
Many times
let's go
over,
with
I
it.
bet.
Let's go with that.
Yeah.
I don't think.
Let's go with it.
All right, do you remember the question you asked Juggernaut Jesus, who said it's okay you don't know what a metaphor is?
I don't. Go ahead. What
He
happened?
wanted to know if you knew what a but-for was.
Oh, okay. Do I know what a butt for is? I said no. What's a butt for?
He got back to me, pooping.
Oh.
Jesus. God.
That's so stupid.
Son of a bitch.
God.
So stupid.
It's aggravating, isn't it, Randy?
It is.
I was hoping for some kind of payoff there.
Oh, man.
All right, we got to get her. We got to go ahead and get her and move on. Brad Ryder, Randy Shaver, thanks very much. Tomorrow's already Friday. Brad, you don't mind doing back-to-back skis, do you?
No, that's fine.
How was your the listeners are driving me crazy with text messages. How was your golf outing yesterday? They all want to know.
Let's move on to Friday.
Oh,
It wasn't very good.
We'll talk to you peckerheads tomorrow.
Okay.
Thanks very much. We'll be right back on the program.
Did you know that Standard Heating opened its doors over 90 years ago? That's right. Tony Ferreira opened the doors in 1930, now ran by his granddaughter Claire Ferreira. Call Standard Heating and Air Conditioning today and experience the customer service and care that holds true today.
It is savings on a stick season with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning's State Fair specials. Deals on deals on deals that can save you thousands. Visit standardheating.com for all their State Fair deals. Standard Heating, providing the comfort you deserve since 1930.
Are you tired of losing your fantasy football league year after year? Lindsay Rhodes, Emmy-winning sportscaster and football analyst, is your new secret weapon on the Believe Fantasy Football Show.
Watch the quarterbacks and his ADP. I think he has massive high-end upside.
Get expert analysis on player rankings.
Wide receiver 22 in fantasy, Cecil Shorts.
That kid can run, so I'm thinking he can have a breakout season this year.
And you can too by searching the Believe Fantasy Football Show. That's BLEAV wherever you listen.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Go ahead. Make my day.
On 93X.
6 o'clock, Bob. Time to wake up. Come on, let's go. Come on, Bob. Get up. Bob. Come on, Bob. Bob, rise and shine. Come on. Bob. Come on, Bob, get up. Bob. 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 Get up. Come on. Come on, it's 6 o'clock. Rise and shine. Rise and shine. Anna, go get the car right now. Come on, Bob. Come on. Bob. 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 Cock-a-doodle-doo! Bob. Bob. Oh!
Oh, man. I'm going to be doing that all day long.
Me too.
We were talking about it earlier. What About Bob? A brilliantly funny movie from the early 90s with Bill Murray and the star of the movie, Richard Dreyfuss. The scene where Richard Dreyfuss is absolutely going to come uncorked because he cannot wake Bob up.
He's just bouncing his head up and down off the mattress.
Oh, my God. It's just one of the... All right, welcome on back to the effing program. I warned you yesterday that the Acid Rock Show is coming to town. Now it's just a day away. And we're going to squeeze a few more of you fools into that big fart tank that's hosting the concert on Friday and Sunday. Right now on the Luther Bloomington Kia text line, text JUSTICE, JUSTICE. Text that to 651-989-9393 for a chance to win tickets to Metallica on friggin' Sunday at the new Metrodome, U.S. Bank Stadium. The prize is furnished by Live Nation. Oh, it ought to be something. And I'm guessing tomorrow is going to be your last friggin' chance if you haven't already upped and gotten yourself some Metallica concert tickets. Obviously, Justice, a reference to the record from 1988 and Justice for All. And for my money, that's my favorite Metallica record. I know that people are going to say this and that and this and that. Well, they're not going to say, what was the one? They never say
Saint Anger?
They never say Saint Anger, but they do say this and that. I go with Justice, man. That's the route I take.
That's a good one. That's one of the first tapes I ever owned.
Blackened, all on its own. That could have been the whole record for me. I would have been satisfied with that. That's how great I think that particular tune is.
I loved Ride the Lightning just because of the album work. I loved that.
It's a great-looking record.
Mm-hmm.
Great looking on the cover. Once you get into the songs, we all know it's straight up garbage. I'm kidding. That's also a great record. Fight Fire with Fire. Last time I saw Metallica, I think one of the first songs they played was Fight Fire with Fire. Dude. I mean, it does bring me back. They did make some great stuff. All right, earlier on, we were talking about back to school already. I saw a headline yesterday, something about, hey, it's back to school season. I asked Josh, has he begun torturing his son, more importantly, my godson? Has he started torturing that kid yet about, hey, man, school's on its way? You said he seems a little bothered, but not terribly.
Not excited about it, but it's not as the older kids, I could really get him going. Yeah, he doesn't seem to care too much.
Going back to school means that kids got to start following the rules again. The rules of the school, by God. And you younger people, you unlucky suckers, you you had to go through a lot of rules. We were just sort of touching on this a few days ago. When Cubby and I were in school, lawless. More or less lawless. You younger people, next thing you know, there's cameras and cops and dogs and drug enforcement and all this crap. We could openly, when I was in high school, we could openly do hard drugs in the principal's office if we wanted to.
It is a lot different, isn't it?
I went to school, Josh. We would pick up a prostitute on our way to school and bring her to our first hour class, and they did not say a word. There were no rules.
Yeah, we had a whole classroom that was just prostitutes.
Right.
Oh, nice.
In free time, you could pick one out.
But now
was that sex ed?
We had a, pardon me?
Was that called sex ed?
It had nothing to do with sex ed. It was a finance class. We had a rule where you couldn't wear baseball hats. Now, we had to wear uniforms, but you couldn't wear baseball hats because of possible gang affiliations. Now, keep in mind, I went to a Catholic high school, and my class was 140 people, but that was a rule that they had in place.
That became a thing in the early 90s, so I was fingering around the internet and found a conversation on dumb school rules. They're just dumb. They make or made no sense. Some of them are happening. Some are from the recent past or even way, way back. Dumb school rules.
The first thing that comes to mind was the dress code rules that we had. Those were ridiculous. Like, they changed a lot once I got into high school because I think they realized how ridiculous they were. Like how we couldn't show our shoulders. If we had pants on, they had to be longer than our fingertips.
I'm sorry, your what?
Yeah, the skirt on, do you mean?
Yeah, so like whatever pants you have on, if you have shorts or a skirt or whatever it is, if you put your hands to the side.
It's funny you said pants. It's like, yeah, I have 32-inch arms.
I'm a little lost on the fingertips and the hands, but okay, there were rules on what kind of pants and shirts you were wearing.
It was so the skirts wasn't too small so you could see the hoo-ha.
No, I understand that. I'm a little confused as to, it doesn't matter, Wapple. It says here, some school rules are important to keep children safe. Others seem kinda dumb. Okay. Folks on the internet talking. We couldn't wear winter clothing in class. Coats, gloves, hats.
Oh, yeah, I remember that from elementary school. I think it's because if there is a emergency and you have to get going fast, that stuff can get in the way.
Okay, well, that's not where they go with this particular entry. We couldn't wear winter clothing in class. Coats, gloves, hats, even when it was cold in the winter. We just had to freeze. They said that. I'll get there. That was because winter clothing was a gang symbol.
Oh, what?
Was it?
I'd never heard that one.
I don't know too many of the wintertime gangs.
Well, you got your stocking cap. Ooh, it might say Raiders on it.
Oh.
You got your big giant winter coat. It might say, silly, especially where this guy says this was in a farm town in Wisconsin. Like Josh's Catholic school, why was this farm town in Wisconsin worried about gang symbolization?
Yeah.
Ashley, you pick them up, you dropped them. Jesus found a loophole to that rule where your skirt couldn't be shorter than your arm length.
Yep.
If you don't have arms, you can go to school naked.
Oh, my God. Now, this is the one dumb school rule from this report that I think... No. Okay. At the ass end of when I was in high school, I think it was my senior year, was the first year The Simpsons were on television. I think I have that right. 1989-90 was when they had their debut. And then after that, there were some schools who were straight-laced enough to where they were banning, this didn't happen at my school, they were banning Bart Simpson shirts because one said, I'm Bart Simpson. Who the hell are you? Another one said, Bart Simpson, underachiever and proud of it. Boy, you really got to have a stick up your ass to ban those T-shirts. But that was mentioned in the article that schools were going after The Simpsons.
Yeah, I remember there was a news article on the exact same thing, and Eat My Shorts was another one people were banning.
I remember that.
Couldn't have the Eat My Shorts T-shirts.
How oversensitive can you be?
How far have we come?
But I had a buddy whose school would let them have the Big Johnson T-shirts. They could wear those.
Oh, we were all about the Big Johnson and the Sex Wax and what's the one I'm missing? Oh, there's another one I'm missing. Well, there were all the beer T-shirts. Spuds McKenzie. This was big-time junior high wardrobe necessities. You had to have these things in order to fit in. There's one other gimmick aside from the Big Johnson that I'm forgetting. But anyway, the Simpsons were banned, and this is just all over the place. We could not touch each other at school. All physical contact was banned.
What?
And again, we don't. Some of this is current. Some of this could be from 50 years ago. Who knows? But that's the statement. We could not touch each other. All physical contact was banned. There was a teacher that claimed if this wasn't a rule, we would all be running around, quote, raping each other.
Oh,
yowzers!
Wow.
She is
very dramatic.
Yeah. Wow.
Whoever the teacher that made that rule wouldn't have liked to have seen our school dances then.
Oh, no. It was always funny, though. Like, whenever someone had a shirt that you couldn't wear, they made you take it off and turn it inside out. So we always had, like, 5 kids that always had inside-out shirts.
I got it. I was trying to think of the other gimmick famous in the 80s. Not Big Johnson, but the other. I just had it and I lost it.
Co-ed naked?
Yes, co-ed naked everything.
Mm-hmm.
Everything was co-ed naked volleyball, co-ed naked fly fishing. Oh, that stuff was huge.
I had a teacher try to get me to take my Austin 316 shirt off because she said it was sacrilegious or worshiping the devil or something like that.
Well, it is.
But you
There's
went
a
to
skull on
public
the back.
school.
Yeah, I know. That's what I said. I'm like, you can't. It's not a church school. You can't tell me what to do.
You really stood up to her?
Yeah.
You did not.
No, you didn't.
Yeah.
The boys were not allowed to have doors on the bathroom stalls.
What?
Oh, we went through something like that because they were like boxing. I don't know. It's like slap fighting or something stupid and vaping in the bathrooms.
Okay, well, in this particular case, from this report on dumb school rules, where people are talking about what they were and were not allowed to do, in this case, the boys didn't have doors on the crapper stalls because they said if there were doors, the boys would vandalize them. And yes, I'm sure we would have.
There was definitely a lot of bathroom vandalism at school. Then you had to get the key from the teacher after a while. They just weren't open.
Oh, that unlocked a different memory. Like elementary school or even sometimes in middle schools, you had the bathroom pass.
Oh, yeah.
That the teacher would have, and it was always stupid stuff that was attached to it. Like
an
here's
eraser?
the world's biggest trophy.
Yeah.
Or like a hockey stick.
We had a Culligan jug attached to one of ours. Empty, of course.
Here's more clothing-related rules from a school or two. Couldn't show your ass crack in the school, but the administration used the term back cleavage. I'm guessing this was early 2000s when the hip hugger jeans were massive and
whale tails.
Oh, I was a fan of that look.
Ours was also you couldn't be sagging, so if the teacher saw your underwear, you had to pull your pants up.
Fair enough. Yeah, well, good. I'll back that one. I got so sick of looking at young people's greasy, dirty underwear during that whole baggy pants scene. Couldn't wear flip-flops. Who wants to guess? Why could you not wear flip-flops?
Used as a weapon?
Dude.
Oh, wow.
He's right.
Yeah, those hurt getting slapped by those.
I'm sorry?
It hurts getting slapped by those.
Okay, go ahead.
What do you mean?
Well, there's got to be a story behind that. What do you mean?
No, I grew up with brothers. Flip-flops were a good weapon.
You made that statement as if we would all go, yes, they...
Oh, I figured, I don't know. I've seen also like in sitcoms that's usually like a mom's go-to is taking the sandal or the flip-flop off and beating them over the head with it.
Clear or mesh backpacks only from first grade all the way through high school.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, of course, that must have been post-Columbine.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this is a good. People are texting in on the Make 7 Up Yours t-shirt. I wanted one of those so bad.
You like those?
Yeah. I
Never
loved
saw
those
those.
commercials. Well, you're too young.
One of my buddies had the Mountain Dew shirt that said Mountain Dew me.
Oh, yes, I remember those.
Dude, that one just never, ever gets old, does it? We had to wear a safety vest as our bathroom pass in high school.
Oh,
That's fun.
Now, of course, you look like kind of a jackass, but in the report here, this individual says, it always really grossed me out because I know those things were never washed properly.
Oh.
So some kid goes and takes a fat deuce in that safety vest. An hour later, you got to take a whiz bang, and he probably has.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even think about that.
No beverages. Not even water.
What?
Yeah, we had that in middle school.
We couldn't have anything in class with us.
Yeah, we couldn't either.
Oh, we could have water. We could have milk.
Every damn thing.
That was
Milk?
about it.
Was that a common thing? I suppose the little pints of milk.
Yeah, the little pints. So
Yeah.
you would go down to the cafeteria, you'd get pints of milk, and then everyone would chew and use it as a spitter.
Oh,
That's exactly how you do it, Wapple.
I bet that smelled good at the end of the day.
So here's the deal. No water, no beverages, including water, because a kid brought vodka in a water bottle to school. So they shut it all down.
Ashley.
Oh, did you do that?
Oh, I did that plenty of times in high school. Oh, yeah.
Oh, you would drink like during the day?
Yeah.
Wasn't that when you passed out and they had to carry you out or something?
yeah, Waffle. That was a rough time. Rough time in my life.
If there was only something that you could have done about that. You know what I mean?
Oh, this text says that I used to wear these T-shirts back in the day, the Billabong shirts. Now, I've never been on a surfboard in my life.
Yeah.
But he said at high school they banned Billabong shirts because they said bong.
Sure.
I actually think that could have been in ours, too.
And then he says, she says, someone in the senior class contacted Billabong and the company sponsored the senior shirts that year.
That is so
That's cool.
awesome. I love that.
We got to take a break here in a minute. We're going through dumb school rules. One more before we leave you. Buses were not allowed to depart. Buses were not allowed to depart at the end of the school day until the flag on the flagpole outside the main entrance had been taken down and properly put away. If someone forgot, all the buses would sit there idling until the flag was dealt with.
Oh, my God.
So if, your one dorky classmate forgot it was his turn to take the flag down, for Christ almighty, you sit there in the friggin' school bus until the cows come home.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Oh, here we go again.
On 93X.
Rules. Talking about rules, specifically the ones at your schoolhouse. Old ones, current ones. An article popped up on dumb school rules that make or made no sense, depending on when they were laid out. We've covered a little bit of everything so far. Oh, I had some texts here from our listening audience. Got in trouble at my Catholic school, says this listener, for using sun-in my hair.
Oh, really?
Wow.
How could they prove that?
Yeah.
His orange hair, they told him, was no longer allowed because it wasn't a natural color.
That's a new one.
I used that once when I was a kid and had a big pile of hair on my head. Oh, my God, I came out looking like friggin' Bozo the Clown.
Never used the sun in.
It was actually...
I remember that being pretty popular.
Oh, definitely.
It was a hell of a deal. Here's a listener whose school made it so there were no sugar items in the vending machines.
Ours did that, too.
Yeah.
God, you guys had such a lame school experience.
Yeah, that sucked.
No
I think
sugar.
ours was like all sugar,
Well, yeah.
pretty much.
Yeah, same here.
We weren't allowed to go to ours during school hours.
Yeah, they shut ours off.
You guys sucked.
Yeah, and then
I know, right?
they also switched everything from white bread to wheat bread. And then they also switched our French fries to sweet potato fries.
Oh, that was a dark time.
That was not good because the janitors got pissed off because everyone would throw them on the ground because they hated sweet potato fries. And then next year we got French fries.
That's a hell of a story.
Yeah.
French fries. What was the other thing you said?
Sweet potato fries?
No. The other thing that got banned instead
White
of
bread instead of
white bread.
No French fries, no white bread. What, do you want to live forever? Okay, so the dude had all the sugar at his school, or hers. All the sugar was removed from the vending machine. So just, granola bars and sunflower seeds or whatever. He said his buddy started selling bottles of Mountain Dew out of his locker and made a lot of money.
Oh, yeah. We had guys that would do that kind of thing. We had one particular guy, he would hang out by the snack machines, and he'd loan you money at incredible interest rates.
That's crazy.
He just, if you didn't have any cash, he'd go up to him, and I wonder what he's up to now, because he was quite the businessman back in the day.
And a lot of this information is wardrobe related. We weren't allowed to wear this. We weren't allowed to wear the 715 Wild Man, Mild Man Jesus. Back when he was in school, he wore a T-shirt. They made him take it off. You know what it said on it? I love inbreeding. All right, here's more from the article, from the report. Dumb school rules. Did anyone experience the one-way hallway system?
No.
I'd heard of it. There was a one-way hallway system. Students could only walk in the halls in one direction. Went to a Catholic school. There was a big white line painted across the schoolyard during recess. Boys on one side, girls on the other.
Oh, that stinks.
At an all-girls high school. All-girls high school.
Oh, that sounds miserable.
No, it doesn't. No ankle socks were allowed because ankles can attract boys and make them want to have sex with you.
Yeah.
I used to wear the, crew socks, the ones that go up a little higher.
Yeah.
And then my kids made so much fun of me, now I do ankle socks. Not the anklet ones, but they're right over the ankle.
Oh, so you used to wear like mid-calves?
I don't know if that's...
Yes, mid-calf. That's
rude.
That's what he's
but
referencing.
I would push them down, like that was the style.
Cubby, in my opinion, the mid-calf socks, the ankle socks, you can't win. You look
with
like
somebody.
You look like a schmuck either way.
Yeah, so I don't use the ones where you can't even see them, right where they're under the top of your shoe. They come up a little bit, and I get less crap for it.
You can't win, unfortunately, in that situation. On the first day of class, again, back to this report on dumb school rules. On the first day of class, my 7th grade writing teacher demanded that we all buy comfortable pens. On the second day of class, she went desk to desk checking on our choices. Comfortable pens?
What does that even mean?
In middle school, we weren't allowed to chew gum.
That was common,
Yep.
even in high school for me, too.
We couldn't either.
I was caught, and I had to write a 2,000-word report on the history of pizza.
2,000, that's a little excessive.
Why on
the
pizza?
history
Why not on
of
gum?
pizza. And finally, you guys tell me what this means. Maybe some of you know this bit. I don't know the bit. When I was in middle school, that god-awful Shrek is Love, Shrek is Life video came out. Anybody?
Never heard of it.
Fair enough. The student council wanted to have a Shrek Spirit Day because of it, but I guess it backfired. The school banned Shrek, and anyone who talked about Shrek got detention.
They were just done hearing about Shrek. That's kind of awesome.
Oh, God, help us, Cubby.
Yeah, it takes me back. But you're right, it was a little more lawless back in the day. Not as many rules as you guys had.
Yeah, it's silly.
Maybe we just didn't screw up as much as you did. Or maybe we screwed up so much that you guys were being punished for it.
Yeah, that's what I always heard from the teachers and the faculty. Like, it's because of the people before you.
I just think 45, 50 years ago, adults and authority figures just weren't so concerned about us. You know what? They kind of just, they knew we were kids. They knew kids were stupid. Kids are going to do stupid things. They're going to do dangerous things. They're going to drink. They're going to smoke. They're going to have sex. And they just didn't care. You know what I mean? Because they did all of it. They weren't so worried. We weren't treated like this fragile little, oh, God, don't let them see this.
Yeah.
Don't let them hear that. Don't let them wear that. Oh, God, it could be gang-related. It could be drug-related. I'm not complaining. I appreciated the fact that my parents and authority figures when I was a kid just kind of didn't care and let us F up.
Yeah, I like
you guys got put under this umbrella of constant surveillance.
I love how everyone's like, ooh, your generation wants a participation trophy. And it's like, well, the generation before us is the ones that gave us those participation trophies.
Yeah, exactly.
That was a tough one.
Yeah, it was.
Say participation
trophies.
They just weren't so worried. And I loved them for that. I did. Now everybody's worried about every damn thing all the time.
Say Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. Participation trophy.
Participation trophy.
I'm
Participation
not doing
trophy.
that.
No. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. Precipitation, not precipitation. All right, now I'm the one that it backfired on me.
You got yourself all wound up.
Ah, look at this guy.
You were holding it together really well there. I was about to say how impressed I was.
You know what happened? I was patting myself on the back before I got to the finish line.
Couldn't stick the landing, Josh.
Happy 50th to Mike, and happy 9th anniversary to Varner Heating Jesus and his better half. He said he's looking forward to tonight, whatever's going to happen tonight.
I'll be.
Get back to us tomorrow. Picks or it didn't happen.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. 93.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. New episodes drop each weekday. If your podcast platform has ratings, go ahead and give us 5 stars and maybe give our enemies 1. Thanks, and here's a word from our sponsor.
It is savings on a stick season with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning's State Fair specials. Deals on deals on deals that can save you thousands. Visit standardheating.com for all their State Fair deals. Standard Heating, providing the comfort you deserve since 1930.